And ladies and gents, here we are. First semifinal was just one country just steamrolling over the other. If you saw that, you probably were very impressed with the winning team and are excited to see who they're up against in the grand final, this 50K SAX Nations Cup. France, the team that had to bye to the semifinal, so they would be the favorite here, but they're up against Argentina. And Argentina have looked good. Argentina in the blue, we've got Lucky playing flank as the Britons. His pocket, real quick, is Lucho playing as the Khmer. The pocket over here is Nikov playing as the Franks. And he's going to be coordinating with Kapoch, who's in the midst of stealing Sizkan's boar here. I think he's going to get it as well. Man, every time I see Kapoch play, he is stealing something. This is not the first time. It won't be the last time today. And so a good start there for Kapoch with the lames against France. Really slowing down the build order for the others. Against Kapoch, we have Sizkan, who's now down a boar, and he's Mongols. So now he loses out on that extra hunt. That is crazy, actually. I'm even surprised they used the Mongols here, but that's something to talk about later. The pocket behind him is Sito, playing as the Romans. The other pocket then is Selets, playing as the Magyars, and then we have the Humble. The Omega Humble. Margugu, who has looked really good this tournament. Like, Margugu has really impressed me. And I'm not just saying that because I'm good friends with the guy. So, we'll see how humble he will be for France today. He's playing Dravidians. He's got a very forward gold. So, it could be a little bit difficult for him. But he's got a lot of pigs. Seems to me like he was on a little laming expedition. I don't know where the pigs came from, actually, because Lucky's got a lot of pigs, too, so... Are there more pigs on this map? I don't know. But no shortage of food, I guess, is the thing to say. So, Mongols have the scouting bonus that applies to the team, so it's really easy to find things. And then the hunt bonus applies to the Mongol player. So, Sizkan... That has delayed his hunt, and then also, like, look, he's already done with his hunt, and he's just now getting over to his deer to push them in. This is actually huge. Also, Mayans, they start with the extra vil, but they also start with less food. So usually, the Mayan player would actually struggle to compete in the early feudal with the Mongols. But now, you've got 3 boars, you can push your deer, you know, you've slowed down the Mongols significantly. I think this is really nice for Argentina. Now, I am a little bit surprised, just a little bit surprised that it's Nikov Kapoch in these positions. We do have a pause right now. But yeah, just ever so slightly surprised. I would have thought maybe Kapoch would play a pocket position and Nikov would play the other pocket, but Lucho's looked really good. Guys, a lot to be excited about if you're Argentina. You've got the old generation. I mean, Nikov is still clearly their number one. I don't expect that to change anytime soon. But he and Kapoch have been around for a lot longer. Yes. And then Lucho's 18 years old. I expect big things from him over the next few years in team games and 1v1s. And then Lucky, I mean, he's pretty young compared to a lot of our competitive scene, right? He's 24. And Nikov spoke very highly of Lucky a month or two ago when I talked to him. He said, like, because I was like, dude, Nikov, you're playing so well. Like, your team's playing so good. Congratulations, because they were playing well in World Desert Championships. And Nikov said, thanks, but Lucky is the real god. The way he said it was so funny, because he basically... Well, I'll tell you what he said. He said, Lucky's the real god. He has a girlfriend. He has a job. He studies. And then he barely plays AoE 2, and when he shows up, he's perfect. And I told Nikov, I was like, so basically you're saying Lucky has a life. And he was like, well, yeah. I was like, Nikov, you're just basically saying, you're like, this guy actually has a life compared to the rest of these nerds. So I thought that was kind of funny. But I didn't know that because I thought it was a player who had potential but never committed time to the game. You know, he has some other stuff going on. So Sizkan... taking the back golds here, still trying to be competitive with his uptime. He is still going to get a really solid uptime here. But Kapoch will have more food. Things like the wood upgrade, fletching, everything. I mean, you don't need to transition onto the berries for so long here for Kapoch. It's going to be really nice. see how this plays out. Who needs a life, question mark? Well, I would argue Age of Empires 2 is life. Some people may not see it the same way. But if my fiance is listening, obviously Age of Empires is priority number 2. Obviously. If she's not listening, same answer, obviously. 2 ranges here for Margugu. Still kind of worried about the golds, but he may tower that. The wood in the back, the berries on the back is kind of nice. Will be double range for both flanks. It should come as no surprise. That is the Arabia meta. And it should be scouts from the pocket as well. I like the Romans in Castle Age. I think Romans get a bit awkward if this goes very late. They don't get Paladin, whereas the Franks get Paladin. You could say the same with Khmer, though. Khmer don't get Paladin. So it's more about the early bonuses. And let's see which team is going to be able to create the early snowball and the early pressure here. I think Kapotch is going to go for that slow build-up. Kapotch is a very defensive player. He loves to get his walls down first before he ever does anything. And here you have Nikov supporting him with the scouts. I think that's fine. Like, Mayans have the cheap walls. It's a really good civilization to give to Kapotch. And if he could just... He doesn't actually see this. He doesn't actually see that wood line, which is kind of funny. So it will take him a bit longer to wall, but I'd expect him to be walled up on that side soon. Lucky and Lucho both making their moves. Look how close the archer ranges are for Lucky and for Margugu on this side. And the scouts are here from Lucho already. But Margugu's going to tower. I really think this is important. It allows you to move out with a little bit more freedom. And the flanks, you could die so easily. You just got to go for the safe approach with a gold like that. I think that's the way to do it. You could argue that Lucky's map is way worse with the wood and the food, right? So, yes, the gold in the back is nice for archer play. But you still need everything else here. Yeah, Romans do have a charge attack for their knights too. It just doesn't feel quite as natural of a pick, but that's fine. Their eco is very smooth. Their scouts can still be strong. Frank's obviously one of the best picks for this spot. So it's been mainly Argentina as the team that has been bold enough to move out so far. Nice house wall there from Margugu. But again, Lucky's already out and about with Lucho on the right side. I see some scouts, though, from Celeste, and Celeste is going to get through before Lucho gets the walls. And Celeste, maybe the weakest player on this French team here in this game, is proving that he belongs, man. 3 villager kills. Oh, disastrous for Lucho because they've done no damage yet. And just, oh, man, there's another villager exposed as well for Lucho. This is not what he would have wanted. And Celeste, just perfect. Just perfect. That's 4 villager kills on 3 scouts. Love to see it for France. And now Nikov and Kapotch might be feeling like they need to make their moves over here on this side. But they still haven't. They've just been very defensive. That's crazy, too, because Celeste wasn't here to defend Margugu at all. Margugu held on his own against 2 armies with the towers, with the house walls, and with the archers. But now, I think Margugu needs to communicate that that army could be coming to him right now. Scouts kill a villager on the farms there for Kapotch. Nice job from Sato. Nikov is here to track. Siskan is here as well. So the 2v2 on this side continues. The army here going to break into Celeste's base. Margugu's here, but the scouts for Celeste went forward. So France could advance through here. I mean, if they advance through there, it's going to do so much damage, but they don't want to be trapped because Celeste is coming back. Blacksmith got deleted there, and yeah, there's all the scouts. They see it now. Let's see if France could deal with this. That's a lot of Magyar scouts there. And it's just going to be a dive from Lucky because he knows he's probably going to end up losing his army. This is good for Margugu. This is great for Margugu. This is great for France. They clear it up. Nice job from Celeste to just hold on and for Margugu to help out. Meanwhile, Sato and Siskan are going to advance over towards Nikov. I mean, it just seems like France have that slight control right now. It was some beautiful early damage from Celeste. That's the standout. But then they defended from the attack that Argentina was sending their way. And now they're really controlling the game here. Nikov's going to drop a tower. Nikov and Capwatch are not quite ready to engage against this. But France will see the tower. They won't want to dive there. They also see the armies here. And now they're just going to be able to back away. Man, it's just been so reactive from Argentina on this left-hand side. Like, Capwatch has got his walls down and everything. But it's like he never advanced forward with any type of lead. And now they chase that army, but they're out of position now. Like, they're completely out of position. Maybe Syscon will be out of position. Maybe they won't be able to fully escape here, but really impressed with France's performance. And now Margugu and Salet are going to knock on Lucky's door. Super smooth play from France. Slight eco lead. Army lead could be a problem, though. Especially once Castle Age rolls around, because Mayans are way better than Mongols in this position. Capwatch hasn't been aggressive, but you don't have to be aggressive. It's all about Castle Age with crossbows, in theory, when you've got the Mayans involved here against Mongols. And he's got so many more archers, and he's going to clear this. There are more scouts from Sato. He does have some nice upgrades here, so maybe that plays a role, but I don't think it's enough. I think Capwatch should be able to clear this with some good micro. Yeah, he pushes the scouts away. I'd love to see armies coordinate like this. It's so nice to see armies coordinate on both sides. Nikov's clicked up. First person to Castle Age here. That's good for Argentina. Salet has stopped scout production. Lucho's going to continue to produce scouts to give Lucky an opportunity to breed. See what I mean? Like, the gold is good, but the wood is really awkward for Lucky, which is arguably more important. Still an army around from Syscon. I think Capwatch thought that he had dealt with that. Where his army is, I don't know. He's advancing forward. And Margugu's clicked up. Satoa's clicked up to the Castle Age. We also have Capwatch on the way up. Capwatch has a massive lead over Syscon. Syscon is going to have some problems against this. Like, Capwatch is going to have, like, near 30 crossbows, I think. But Margugu has a really nice lead over Lucky. And it's all the more important now for Argentina to take an engagement because they have so many more scouts here. Syscon only has 10. There's 14 with full upgrades right now for Lucho. Archers for Syscon are harassing Nikov. And Capwatch seems to be headed towards Sato. He's not going to Syscon. Margugu falls back. This is such a good job from France to fall back and wait for Margugu's upgrades. Great recognition of the numbers and knowing they need to just back off. Could have been so easy to just stick around there when you think you have the lead and overextend. I'm very curious on the timing here. It's actually hugely important that Sato has built mainly house walls along the front here. Because if he didn't do that, when this army gets upgraded, it could break right through into his base. Steal that archer army around for Syscon. Syscon's probably like, yo, Sato, I haven't seen Capwatch's army in a really long time. And it's going to be right behind. He might delete this wall and build a TC here. This is a really good TC spot. You'll often see it on the other side of a wood line. And on a gold. Looks like Sato got through, killed quite a few vills with this group in general. I'm not sure if it was all here. He'll probably lose these scouts. But now Capwatch is going to surprise him on the wood line. And Sato reacts, loses one vill. That's his only wood line, though. Margugu now pressuring. And Margugu is in the driver's seat here. Those scouts cannot kill that many crossbows. Argentina have really fallen apart on this right-hand side. It's got to be Capwatch now. Capwatch and Nikov that change things for Argentina. The light cap from Sato finds some nice kills here. And, ooh, the crossbows for Capwatch dive on Syscon. Honestly, though, like, Syscon is just about to get his upgrades. And Capwatch was so close that the range of crossbow didn't actually play a role there at all. I think a lot of that's because Capwatch is still distracted here by Sato. But France will be fine with that. What they're going to be even more fine with is this situation over here. Margugu's going to dive. Behind him, he'll have Silette coming in, but Lucho's also diving with a lot of scouts, and it feels do or die right now for Argentina. But it's just 2 Castle Age armies versus 2 Feudal Age armies right now. There's more army for France. There's more eco for France. There's more momentum for France. And still a sneaky army from Syscon could loop around and hit somebody. Maybe hit Lucho when he least expects it. But this might be over, guys. France have had insane tracking of armies, insane killer instinct, and just, I mean, everything's been perfect. Except for maybe this, couple knights getting into the eco, but I think so that's fine. He'll make a couple knights here. He can garrison. They've all but taken Lucky and Lucho out of this game on the right-hand side. So even if Silette falls a bit behind in this scenario, he's done more than enough. Should be able to stabilize. Keyword being should. And now Sito's made it into Nikov's base, which pushes Nikov off of gold. That'll affect Nikov's knight production, and Sito just goes right on through. And Argentina, great Arabia players, but maybe not as good as France. Just think of all the potential they had on the left side. With the lame on Syscon, felt like Mayans, Mongols, good opportunities there, but now Kapoch is kind of back home, trying to stabilize, unsure of where to go, and all this pressure has immediately gone to Nikov. Like, Nikov is getting completely slaughtered, and it's kind of too late for them to turn it around over here, and the GG's called. France just smashed Argentina in the mouth. Like, what a start. It's not just like this back and forth game, which was relatively close. This was kind of all France. They outplayed them. I don't think there's many arguments you could even make as far as civs either, because usually people are going to see Britons being on the team as the superior Arabia squad because of the team bonus with the faster archer production applying to both flanks. It didn't have that for France. They still get the job done. Well played. I think, score's not there for Argentina. Sorry. I think there were a couple of moments which were really impressive for me. The initial opening on the right side, think about what happened. Margugu was verse 2, and he recognized that he was verse 2, but he also knew he wasn't going to have support from Silette because Silette had moved out. And so in that moment, Argentina needed damage they never found because of Margugu's defense. And then Silette ended up catching out Lucho and killing those 4 vills, which just gave him such a nice little lead there. So that was a big moment there. And then on the left side, it felt like Sito and Syscon were just like through in between Nikov and Kapoch so fast. They just got their numbers and they moved forward. It was a little hesitant from Kapoch on the left-hand side, I'd say. But, you know, maybe that's just the approach with the civs. You look at that KD, Syscon. Look at these flanks, man. 56 kills, 19 deaths. Remember, he got lamed. Could have so easily not been in Feudal Age at a competitive time, but he made it happen. And then Margugu, 58 kills, 23 losses. So game 2, I expect a lot of craziness here from both players immediately trying to take the boars around the map. This is Alpine. Now, whoever plays the 1v1 on Alpine cannot play the 2v2 later on Arena. So Argentina needs their best player, Nikov, to step it up here and get the job done, because not having him in the 2v2 later could hurt. France, of course, they're using their number 2 French player, Margugu, and they're going to try to use him here and then save Sito for that 2v2 later on, I assume. Bulgarians for Margugu. Margugu's already here with the horse. He's already going to try and be so annoying. But I think Nikov is going to escort this boar home. That's what this map is at the start. It's just a very boring map. Dude, Margugu, get a life, bro. Get a life. This is why they pick him. He's being such a nerd. Okay. He could have waited there all day. Eventually that boar would have died, but he needs to move on to make sure Nikov doesn't get the other boars. And then he's got to try and get his own boars at the same time. Does C2 on the back. Obviously, the earlier you bring them in, the more risk there is in losing a villager too. And Nikov might try and return the favor if he sees this boar here. But it looks to me like Margugu is going to go around back so he can build a lumber camp. Now, the meta on this map has been spears and skirms. Spears and skirms up against spears and skirms, pretty much. I mean, we saw Eagles when Incas played as a counter to spears and skirms. I think maybe Margugu's gone to the kitchen and he's cooked up something special here. Bulgarians get the free man-at-arm upgrade, so I kind of like the idea, especially when you consider that Bulgarians are not seen as great on a lot of other maps. You get a very late pick, civilization-wise, for your draft, and it could work for the map. Now, I still think Byzantines are just way better than Bulgarians and better than most civs long-term, so it's going to have to work early for Margugu, but it definitely has some potential. I think if I were to guess right now, I think we're going to see the strategy we actually just referenced right before this, the Frush. And Margugu says, go ahead, I dare you. I dare you to take that boar. But yeah, the Frush is the French drush that the French players actually kind of started. And they would go for 2 militia into archer follow-up. And 2 militia with Bulgarians is 2 man-at-arms, right? And look at Margugu. He says, give me those boars. Thank you very much. And he's still lurking around with this, just waiting to block. So pretty smooth start for Margugu so far. I say this as someone who's quite fond of Margugu. This is more of a compliment than anything. I think Margugu is probably the most annoying French player. And listen, don't clip that out of context. The reason that's a compliment is because this map, you can be really annoying. That's part of it, is just being a pest, lurking in the shadows, and trying to use this horse to block boars. It's what the map is about. So I think that it's a really nice choice. If it was another map, like if it's 1v1 Arabia, then maybe you don't go Margugu. Yeah, here he goes. Nikov has Loom now, and Nikov has to... Nikov has to use his own horse to try and block the board. Okay, he's close enough. Margugu figures, well, he already has Loom. He delayed the boar enough, and then he had all of his boars. And he's going to click up. Guys, why are we making French annoying jokes? Chat, calm down. Would you play against Franks one too many times on the ladder? Lose a couple villas to a scout rush? Come on. But no, I love Margugu, and I think his style has been perfect so far. There's the barracks. And this will definitely lead to a few militia. And eventually, it's going to lead to man-at-arms, because you get the upgrade for free. So Nikov, up at similar time, but he's going to need to brace himself. This wood line's open and exposed. This wood line could be exposed as well. And you could tell Margugu's played this map 1,000,001 times at this point, because he knows to take the hunt on the outside. Scouted for that. I love how he went for the initial lumber camp on the back instead of the initial lumber camp up here as well. It's hard to scout all of that, guys. It's hard to scout your wood line and get to their boars. Basically, what I think happens is Margugu scouts the wood first and then goes to the boars, because that's where he had his horse. All right. Here comes the militia. And this will be man-at-arms. Nikov didn't scout the racks, so he doesn't know it's there. But he knows the opponent's civ, and he knows what's possible, and now he's Byzantines. So he's able to catch the man-at-arms in his vision because of being Byzantines. Walled up at back here, walled up over here, and gets his archer range timing. Well played, Nikov. Very well played. Also, an archer follow-up doesn't feel like it would be the best with the Bulgarians, because they do not get crossbow. So it will probably just be man-at-arms skirm. It's a tough feeling now if you're Margugu, because you're looking at this like, well, what am I supposed to do with these things now? And the answer is you wait for the follow-up. You sit here on the wall. You stand behind the wall with a ranged unit, and eventually Nikov is going to need something here. So man-at-arms skirm can still work pretty well. Nikov will understand how important this game is for him and his country. He's had a really good year. I said this yesterday as well. He's performing so well. And I think it's some of the best stage I've seen him play. And he has always stepped up for Argentina in the 1v1s. He beat Veleza when they played Finland. In the World Desert Championships, he also played 1v1s, beat like Doubt for Gamer Legion. I don't have like all of Nikov's results memorized in my head, but I'm just remembering a lot of big Nikov victories. And very rarely did they not rely on him here. So the problem with the Man-at-Arms is they're still not able to get in too close here. So you're using them as throwaway units to set up your skirms, essentially. But with micro like this, Nikov can just kind of... Oh, there we go. Man-at-Arms paid for itself. Maybe. Yep, because that led to a skirm kill. So easier said than done. Other things to look at would be, is Nikov on hunt? Notice he's not, because he didn't wall up. So he wasn't able to do this. Did I say he didn't wall up? I meant to say because he did wall up. Sorry. Blacksmith timing. Blacksmith is up for Nikov, but he doesn't have the food yet. He probably could if he unqueues some vills. Get the fletching upgrade. But Bulgarians have the faster researching. And then also the cheaper blacksmith techs. Chat. Do we see supplies in this game? Yes or no? There's a pretty good chance. We're only going to see more skirms. If Margugu gets a lot of farms and decides that Castle Age might not be worth it, he might hit supplies, drop a second barracks, and go for full longsword here. I think it's possible. Because again, you play the standard. What are you going to do in Castle Age? Go knights? Byzantines have cheap camels. Byzantines have cheap spears. Doesn't feel like it gets much better for you. Nikov never was able to click fletching, guys. And now he doesn't have the consistent enough food eco to actually get it without idling his TC. This is a nice position for Margugu. 5 kills, 2 deaths. Good, confident pressure all the time. Patience as well. He hasn't just dove in with the Man-at-Arms. The eco, yeah, the farming eco needs to be a bit better, but he's sorting that out. Still, though, Nikov, double range, super cheap skirms. And who even needs fletching if you can just produce this many skirms? Well, the answer is you still need fletching, but you know what, my point. The point is the Man-at-Arms haven't actually killed anything. And Byzantine should be favored in the skirmisher war. Fletching's on the way. Nikov may be struggling because he hasn't had that upgrade. But I think the Man-at-Arms will soon be a non-factor. 33 vills for both. Bit of idle TC time for both, here or there. A bit worse for Nikov because he's been under the most pressure. But his units are cheaper as well. Dropping a market now as well, maybe just to balance out the eco a little bit. Now, in other matchups, we would frequently see a stable for Margugu. And we'd see scouts. But against Byzantines, you know that they could just add spears. Margugu sells a stone. He's going to try and buy food for Castle Age. The recent patch made that more expensive, remember? So I really like the change. I think that players who actually have built up a better economy are benefiting just a bit more. But the market can still help you. So it's a nice balance now. Before that change, Margugu might have actually been able to click up the Castle Age with that. But he's still using the market. He's stopped producing skirms. And he's going to click up. Really needs to build a mining camp on the gold. There he goes. He clicks up. Okay. So there's a couple things that you can do now with the Bulgarians that get kind of interesting. You could go for supplies and start to make Man-at-Arms again, because they'll be longswords then in 2 minutes. I don't hate that. You could also go to stone. He's going to go to gold. But if you go to stone, you could maybe drop a crep post right in between the player bases. And that could be really strong as well, because we see castle drops on this map a lot. What Margugu's trying to do is just make more skirms and get more upgrades there. And he really is fallen into a tough spot here. He's completely surrounded. Guys, if a farm is being attacked, the farmers will not work on it. They go on strike immediately. It's something you really should do in these situations when your opponent doesn't have army to defend. Just sit there and attack their farms. Not the farmers, because for whatever reason, if they're being attacked themselves, they'll still work. But just an issue for Margugu's economy. And we are going to see more men-at-arms now. But the idle time is starting to add up, and Nikov has clicked up to Castle Age. Now, I want to see Nikov think about going to stone. I feel like a castle from Byzantines and Cataphracts could be an answer against the eventual longswords. But armor comes in for Margugu. Okay. Still under a lot of pressure here. Zico's still pretty inefficient with how many areas are being attacked right now. But he's in Castle Age 2 minutes faster. He immediately snags Bodkin Arrow. Things are pretty messy. And here he goes. Longsword hype. No supplies, unfortunately. I don't think this is a long-term unit choice for him. I think Nikov needs stables and he needs to go for knights. Yeah. Against longswords and skirms, knights would both work well. But Byzantines aren't. They don't have the best knights ever. So Margugu going to actually just let these skirms chill next to his farms. And he's looking to push. Nikov doesn't have a tower. So Vils could die to elite skirms here. This could be 5 villager kills from Margugu. Nikov is probably really surprised that Margugu didn't immediately try and deal with him here. Yeah, look at this. Oh, apparently he did get supplied. Okay, well, he is going to supply himself with villager kills here. Like, this is no joke. And Nikov has to wait for knights. So he could run back and forth, maybe, to try and save them. But that's still probably going to lead to dead vills anyways. And Nikov's other skirms are going to loop home. Nikov tries to run away. And Elite Skirm pays off for Margugu. Now, that's still such an interesting upgrade to me. Because Elite Skirm basically was just for sniping vills. Against knights, it's not a great option to have. It is nice, though, that he's around the backside of Nikov's eco, because Nikov will have to chase him. Meanwhile, Margugu's thinking about town centers back here. I think 4 knights clear this. Maybe, I mean, 6 is certainly the safer approach. But we'll see if Nikov can keep track of it. Over here, Nikov's knights hop out. The longswords do have full armor. But a longsword has 60 HP. A knight has 100 HP. Knights are faster. Obviously, they're also more expensive. They're way more expensive. But worth it here for Nikov because he's had the better economy, it feels like, over the last few moments. But that's actually, I mean, his inefficiencies have been pretty extreme as well. And he just lost the 5 vills, so. Now, I'd love Margugu's choice of Cav Archer. But I don't love that if Nikov still has these skirms out here that he can always use. Nikov is looking for this army. He's found it. He found it with the spearmen. And he's gonna... Yeah, he's gonna collapse on this army. He does pull the weak knights away. That's amazing micro from Nikov. If he can heal these up, that's gonna make his position even stronger. And all the elite skirms will go down. The longswords will go down. And that's huge for Nikov. As he even has trash units in the farms here. He has a knight here that already killed a vill against Margugu. And Margugu really has no balance to this approach anymore. Like, the longswords had their window, and that is shut. The skirms had their window, and that is shut. And now, he's going to be on Cav Archers. But he's got 2 of them? And the opponent still has 14 skirms. Like, Nikov has basically kept his army alive and working for him the rest of the game. Margugu, it's been all about these timings and one-and-done attacks. And so I think Nikov's in a great position now. If he could settle his mind, if he can realize that he could boom from this position, it's going to be really tough for Margugu. Margugu's lost just as many vills now and still doesn't have a lot of food eco back here. Like, look at the amount of farms he has actually working. 3. And that's not going to get much better for him. Nikov getting Bodkin, which I didn't realize he didn't have. And Nikov does have a lot of weak knights. Nikov's food eco also isn't perfect. Eco upgrades are missing for both. No horse collar. Oh, Nikov, don't lose that. Okay. Like, if Margugu could get into the back with the CA, that's the best thing for him. And there he goes. This is actually the play. Like, the Cav Archers at home do nothing for you. You have to counterattack. Nikov's going to lose his knights to the TC. And I think he was reacting here. See, Nikov just realized he doesn't have gold income. So he tried to run out here. Huh. There's a foundation, Margugu. It was a deleted foundation. Oh, he wants to head over to the woodline. Oh, it's a feast. It's a feast. Oh, man. This is rough, dude. This is panic time for Nikov. This is so messy. This is extremely messy for both. Margugu is getting to a pretty big mass of CA behind this. If he can land a Mangonel shot on these skirms, it's not out of the question that he brings this back. Nikov's eco efficiency has been rough, but at least Margugu, his has been rough too, but at least he's got the second TC. And he's using the mobility. Oh, man. Oh, man. Another Vil dead for Nikov. More quick walls for Nikov. He's still probably like, I'm Byzantines. I've got skirms. This is fine. Margugu? Hello? Okay, Margugu doesn't realize. He's chasing the skirmisher with villagers. The skirmisher is bringing the villagers to the town. They are going to be slaughtered. Margugu was microing here. Margugu also had a scorpion around here. And now he realizes this and probably is kicking himself for it. It was probably a skirm just next to a farm that he clicked to attack because he saw it was weak. And he completely forgot. What a messy game. And Margugu tosses away what was a nice little villager lead. This game is so messy, dude. Now Margugu's back with more Cav Archers. Guys, there are... It's kind of rare because we get used to the high level being so perfect. But this is the perfect example of what tourney nerves and a crazy map can do for you. You guys can feel the fact that this is so important for both players. It's so obvious how important this moment is. And it's amazing to watch games like this. Horrible to play. Both players making what they would consider to be mistakes left and right. Nikov no armor on the skirms yet, by the way. They can actually get killed off by the CA in some situations. Holy crap. Look at the idle time. Look at the idle TC time. Oh, more villagers. Nikov's got to get a TC out here, man. Oh, more villagers getting killed. And then Margugu doesn't have a mining camp. Margugu is long distance mining the gold. He probably thought he placed a mining camp, but he hasn't been able to look over there. Oh, God. These vills still... Holy crap. Let's look. Worker efficiency last minute for both of them. Margugu 50%. Nikov 61%. Holy cow. Okay. Margugu's leaving now to this gold. There's also a tower from Nikov, but that's going to get denied. What in the world? I think Margugu is winning because his farm eco is better than it was. He's gonna drop. I don't know what in God's name is happening. I really don't. There's so many. Like Nikov loses the tower, and now Margugu loses CA and farmers. This TC is probably going to be untouched, so this is safe eco. And Margugu's done a really good job raiding with the Cav Archers when he can. And so much pressure on both these two. 20 villager lead is no joke. And Nikov, careful, careful, split. And Nikov's got to be really careful. Like, honestly, if this gets to a point where Margugu can even make knights with the CA, it becomes a problem. But Margugu's got to get lumber camps and mining camps down soon. Deep breath moment for both, basically. I mean, all their villagers are just walking. But I think Nikov could finally justify a TC. There's 25 skirms for Nikov. A lot in defense and a lot offensively. And here he is. And he saw the Vil was weak and sniped that one. That was not by chance. That's just sick. Split micro, because Nikov is sick. His eco is also pretty sick at home. He's got to fix that. But this micro is nuts. This is what the high-pressure moments do, is you just become a super focused micro nerd. And that is something Margugu's going to feel. Margugu has to respect. And Margugu's counterattack runs into a lot more skirms. There's so many skirms for Nikov. 26 skirms. So both players have actually missed out on crucial eco upgrades. There will be a moment when one of them has an oh shit eco upgrade check moment. And they'll probably go from having one each to getting 3 or 4 at once. Who's going to be the one that thinks of it first is the question. I would say Nikov, because it seems like Nikov is falling into a pretty comfortable position with military. So he should be able to free up his mental to think about it. In the past, there were memes about Nikov not being, everyone go, Nikov, with upgrades, right? But if anything, he's way better at that than even some other players out there. Rez is starting to float a little bit, too, that he wasn't floating before. Margugu, though, oh my god, is he going to go forward castle? Margugu once said to me that it's a very French thing to build a forward castle. He said, but if it's me, the castle gets denied, and I just lose the game. So I guess it's also a very Delt thing to do. But I've seen it a lot on this map. A castle on the front. Makes sense for Margugu as we see supplies coming in. So that's the upgrade he goes for. And there's the castle. Does Nikov see the delete, though? No, he doesn't. Dude, this castle's crazy, guys. Guys, remember the other game today where a player built a castle here and what it did? That's actually so good. And he loses all of his cav archers, which is not good. He's got skirms killing villagers, which is still not good. But if he could make some conics out of that, conics would maybe be the best option against the amount of skirms Nikov has. And Nikov's got farms here. Nikov's going to eventually lose his TC. It makes life very difficult for you if you're Nikov. Dogal's in my chat. Dogal says, no, I don't remember. Yeah, that's true. Dogal, I would want to forget that game as well. Also, hello, Dogal. Fun game, dude. I love the nerves and how obvious it is for players that are just so freaking good. Because I think it's so easy to forget at times. I bet you their APM is through the roof, though. Yeah, their APM, they're flying. Look at the military, though. This is so obvious, right? The military's super high focus, and Eco's not. You've never seen Nikov micro skirms this much in his life. Okay, this is the Eco upgrade check. He checks Horse Scholar, gets that. And he can't actually afford some of the others yet. But let's see if Nikov snags some of the other upgrades now. Camels, take out the Mangonel. But the Conics and CA are going to get pretty dangerous. That combination's pretty sick. Oh, God. More skirmishers killing Vils. Nikov has killed 35 villagers with basically just skirms. But does that end here? It should, right? In some ways, it should. I guess camels could be a good option for Byzantines, but these skirms should probably go down. Someone says 80 APM is high. I was looking at it in terms of a ratio. So at the end, the APM will have... First off, it's effective. It's EAPM. So it's not... It's effective actions per minute. It's not like useless actions, so it's a whole thing. But the ratio is like 75% of their focus has been on military. Uh-oh. 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 Crepos drop! Margugu's gonna drop a Crepost here. He could have Creposted the middle. He chooses to Crepost here. We got a castle for Nikov now. I mean, castle beats Crepost, but which one can be built first? I'm putting my money on Nikov here. But yeah, it just really felt like they weren't able to put a lot of their focus onto the eco for so long. That's starting to change. And Nikov is starting to claw his way back into this game. That is a doubt Krepost. Margugu drops one now just to defend this area. In all honesty, I like the idea because I don't think Nikov had any clue that this eco was over here. But Nikov with a great reaction there. And Nikov will be on 4 TCs even after he loses this one. It's 77 Vils versus 82. And hold on, I think we had a drop. It didn't seem like Nikov dropped because he was killing Margugu. But I think he disconnected. And we need to restore this. I would guess that Nikov's APM... I don't know what happened. This definitely is a drop, right? There's no way that that's anyone calling it. So let me just double check real quick. All right, so there was a disconnect. And we're back in. We're restored right back to where we were. The Krepost will finish for Margugu. But during the little break we had, I was just saying about how it feels like Nikov's in a really good spot here. He's going to start to expand his economy. He's going to start to snag relics. And what can you make with the Bulgarians to compete? I think a combo of Conic and Cav Archer can do it, but it's really expensive. And even though it says that Margugu has collected more resources, I wouldn't expect it to be... Margugu's not going to be collecting a lot more than Nikov is now. If anything, maybe Margugu's just mined a lot more stone, because he dropped Krepos and has enough for another castle here soon. Look at the eco setup for Margugu. He's got a TC here, he's got his TC here, and then he's got a TC all on its own over here. Then look at Nikov. It's all together. Boom, 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 boom. Now, hopefully Margugu didn't drop. But yeah. I think Nikov's going to be able to tie this one up. What's up, Grinsfish? Welcome. Yeah, you could turn it into a bit of a raiding game, maybe. If you're Margugu, try and get to Imp and get for the go Hussars. But this is looking rough. Okay, we had a pause. Margugu says, oh, wait a second. Did Nikov think that Nikov paused because he thought Margugu dropped, and Margugu didn't drop. Nikov paused because the Cav Archers were dying, right? And then I'm trying to page up again to show it. And then he's like, are you here? Margugu said, yes, I'm here. And then Nikov said, oops, sorry, check your Cav Archers, man. Oh, why won't it show me again? Come on, Capture Age. There it is. Look, look. He said, here? Margugu said, yes. Okay, sorry, go. Bro, how dare you? Check your Cav Archers, man. 14. Freaking Nikov. 11. That's telling... That is funny. Hopefully Margugu isn't too offended by that. You know, he just kind of got called out by his opponent for not being attentive. He's already falling behind. But yeah, I do think that since they just came out of a drop, that Nikov was trying to be the nice guy, trying to be a sportsman, and make sure that he wasn't gaining an advantage because of lag. It's not the first time I've seen that, by the way. Someone pausing because they think the opponent dropped, and the opponent didn't drop. I saw MBL do that to somebody once. I think Nilly was up against somebody once, and somebody asked if Nilly was AFK, and he was actually there the whole time. Sorry, Nilly. Again, the game is settled. Nikov snagged upgrades he didn't have before. Nikov's flying economically. He's got 2 castles with Byzantines. It's going to be really tough to break him now. And I think Margugu's going to have to be more creative in his gameplay than I can even be with my casting here. Like, Nikov is building up a base which is unbreakable. This is maybe it. Drop a Krepost. Shoot down the TC. Maybe Conics are good enough to beat Camels? Maybe that? Don't think so. Not when there's a couple monks around. One Conic gets converted. Oh, this was going to be the play. This is going to be the play for him. Pikeman and Conic. He wanted to push and drop a Krepost here as well. Nikov spotted it, though. Wouldn't mind to see Nikov bring in some cataphracts. Cataphracts would be much better against the pikemen. Nikov's monks got so many conversions here. He converted like 4 or 5 conics. And Nikov's going to end up winning the fight. And I think Margugu has kind of sensed the direction this game is going because of the score and because of the matchup. And now there's cataphracts too. So the cataphracts, I don't know how they actually do 1v1 against a conic, but they're way better to have in the mix when there's pikemen out. And the monks from Byzantines as well heal up so nicely. Like, this is just not an area that Margugu can run into right now. And then Nikov, up to 50 on food, 40 on gold. Only thing he's missing more of is stone income right now. Nikov's going to click up to Imp. And Nikov is going to be able to make this even more difficult for Margugu with Imp upgrades. Cataphracts die to conics in small to mid numbers, but own 20 versus 20. Okay. Well, that's probably with full upgrades, right? I think Logistica plays a bigger role the more numbers you have. So that makes a lot of sense. Margugu's still going to try here. Here's the Catus. Right now, there's more blacksmith upgrades for Margugu, so I feel like these fights could still be good for him. The Crepost on the hill to make it messy. He has ejected units from this Crepost, and they got trapped. He fixed that. I hate it when that happens. Second time today, we're seeing cataphracts from Byzantines on this map. It's pretty sick. You don't see cataphracts every day. Don't see conics every day. Margugu, funnily enough, is using the market, and now it's going to get rammed down. I wonder how fast he's going to build the new market. It might be immediately. Imp is on the way for Nikov. He's going to go crossbow with the cataphracts. Nikov can do everything. And Margugu still can't find good fights. It's camels, it's crossbow, it's monks, it's cataphracts. Look at Nikov's units here. He's got conics, dismounted conics, pikes, skirms. He's got everything. Only thing we're missing is a swordsman. Or maybe some siege. Okay, Nikov quick gated this. That freaked me out. That's actually not his Imp TC, but his wheelbarrow TC. The quick gate wasn't enough, though, because he opened the gate. Nikov will drop a defensive castle here. That's a sick army for Margugu. Unfortunately for him, it's just not enough. It might be enough against this, but then you're risking tossing away 8 units. And then you know the cataphracts and camels will probably arrive. Nikov getting heavy camel. Nikov, he definitely did his eco upgrade check. See that? Just getting everyone he can. And Margugu saw Imp, so Margugu says, all right, let's take the fight. A lot of these monks are exposed. They're not locked on to targets. Maybe he can clear this. There's a lot of clunking in here from these conics. That's it. That's as good a fight as you're going to get. It's before heavy camel comes in. The monks weren't prepared for Nikov. Is it a good enough fight to win? There's still a little bit of pressure on this side. Still no heavy camel upgrade. The crossbows also disappeared. Nikov is heavily queuing up camels. He's got 6 camels in queue out of each stable right now. That's a decent fight for Margugu. Margugu's population is pretty high. He's staying in the game. He's got the castle in the middle. You know, maybe Nikov doesn't have enough defense in some areas. But, I don't know. Still 2 minutes away from Imp. Nikov's got camels out. I'm a little surprised Nikov stopped with Katas. I think he's going to mix them in as well. This Krepos is important for Margugu because it just makes it difficult for Nikov to fully push back. This is a nice find for Nikov. Are the conics doing this right now? If he can get to elite conic, maybe? He's finding some really good fights, guys. And Nikov is kind of losing control at the moment. I thought he would gain control, but no. Keep in mind, a lot more idle time for Nikov. Margugu's eco, well, he's dying. But, I mean, he doesn't have as much idle time. He could grab stirrups, which increases the attack speed for the conics to make them even stronger. He could grab Halb, which would be an excellent mix. Turns out camels aren't that great against Conics. Conics is still doing a good enough job. I wonder how much the dismounted Conic plays a role there. There are Katas in the mix now. Nikov, like, he tried to do so many different things at once. I think he didn't need to get everything here. I think had he just produced full cataphracts from 3 castles, maybe it would have been a bit better. Had he just stayed on camel instead of trying the crossbow, maybe it would have been a bit better. But he went crossbow because he was worried about the pikes. So it's actually a good play. It just, he got jumped on before he could get the mass up. Margugu's still kicking, guys. I mean, Margugu didn't hear no bell. And Margugu keeps the Crepo stuff. Ooh, but this is... Oh, he's being raided by his own dismounted Conics. The first thing these guys did after they fell off their horse on the other side is they ran back home to pillage their old village. The disrespect. That's funny how Nikov raided with those things. Love this castle from Nikov. So important, his castle positions. I still can't think he can ever be broken with these castles. If he could get a castle in the middle of his own eco then, too, should be crazy. But, like, Margugu is 150 vils and is mining gold and stone everywhere with 55 on food. Margugu, please get stirrups, dude. It is bothering me so much we don't see stirrups yet. Blacksmith upgrades are cheap, so we should have every single blacksmith upgrade as well if you're Margugu. There's Elite Conic now. Nikov's just got Elite Cataphract after having Heavy Camel, and he could still afford Arbalest. There's so many resources on this map. I don't know if Elite Conic is enough. Against that many camels, against the potential of Elite Katas, Nikov will eventually raid this gold too. Wild game. A crazy game. I'm impressed with Margugu, though. I thought he was so dead. He's done a great job to keep it messy and stay in this. He's made life difficult for Nikov in ways that Nikov wasn't even expecting. Still no stirrups. There's only 20 Conics here. The Arbalests get to the hill to cut off the Halb reinforcements. There's Cataphracts in the mix. This is not going to be a good fight for Margugu. At least I don't think so. When the Conics do die, the Riders get up, but the Riders are so weak. And that's a full clear there for Nikov. An easy clear for Nikov as he now drops another castle over here. And he's going to make Treps because Margugu's got the castles nearby. Also, Nikov was trebbing down all the Krepos on this side, so he's cleared out 2 Krepos. And Nikov is going to start to push to the middle now. Yeah, Nikov can do no wrong from here. Margugu needed more numbers, and he needed better upgrades. You need to have Blast Furnace. You need to have armor. You need to have stirrups, and that's going to give you your best chance. I just don't think he was quite able to realize he didn't have those upgrades. And when you're under pressure, you don't really have the time. And that's just what it comes down to in competitive AoE 2, right? He had plenty of blacksmith upgrades, but he just didn't have all of them. And the big one I'm missing is the stirrups upgrade, because that adds attack speed to the Conics, right? Or is that only... No, I think it's cavalry, so it should apply to the Conics. It's like 20% more attack, or 25 or 33%, one of those percentages. I don't know. Somewhere between 0 and 100%, it adds. 33%, thank you. But you can only research that out of a castle. Here comes the Conics, so they're going to split up. A different approach than what we were seeing there. Nikov knows his Trebs are going to be sniped, so he quickly gates it off. No way he saves his Treb, right? That would be insane. There's no way. No way. No way, Nikov. Are you kidding me? That's sick. What in the world? So he saves his Trebuchet there and takes down Margugu's castle. What a play. There's even unbuildable terrain around there. And he also has to keep a close eye on all this as well. So it's not like he's not playing the rest of the game. It's still 200 pop for Margugu. Arbalest Cataphract Camel, though, is tough to push. Remember, 3 relics for Nikov. Yeah, Nikov's army is just so much more diverse and so much stronger right now. I do like the Siege Ram choice from Margugu, but it might be too little too late. The meat shield doesn't help too much when there's camels and katas out there to take out the rams. This Krepos has been a real pain, though. Or is this a new one? This might be a new one. There's been so many Krepos, I'm losing track. There is a Lonely Ram here taking out a castle, which Nikov doesn't realize. There is a Conic here killing Vils, which Nikov doesn't realize. There's a castle here for Nikov. Guys, the population's still looking pretty decent for Margugu. I keep saying that he's going to lose, and then it doesn't happen. Double truth. Because I said that crossbowman timing didn't work out because his army got jumped on, does not mean that I don't think Arbalest is a good diverse play here now that there's help. You're comparing a Castle Age situation or an early imp situation to mid-imp, dude. It's completely different situations, bro. Listen to the words that I speak. I think, like, at this point, one of the best things you can have against camels is halbs. And the halbs became a real threat against the camels, so more of a switch into the katas. And more of a switch in Arbalest. GG's called. Margugu taps out. And the score's 1-1. Well played from Nikov. That was just an overall great game from both. I do think that if we look at the drafting page, Nikov, he valued Byzantines much higher. And France valued their Bulgarians pick much lower. It was one of those games where almost all bonuses were forgotten about in the mid-game, and it was just a grind. It was messy. Mistakes were happening left and right. But once Nikov got his mind settled, once he got those TCs down, and he started to neutralize the Cav Archers, he pretty much got the job taken. Jeez, I can't speak. He got it taken care of. And so for France, you didn't play with your number one player. You didn't play with Sito. So you still have Sito available in one of the later 2v2s. That's great. And then for Argentina, you get a must-needed win to make it 1-1. You'll miss out on having Nikov later on, but of course, they probably have plans there. I think most likely they're going to slide Kapotch in there with someone like Lucho or Lucky. So it was all part of the plan. I think Res Collected is still active. I think some of the other stats were not just because of the DC. But Margugu actually collected more res that game, but he was not taking good fights the entire game. I think the only chance for Margugu was to get like a big snowball with all of his upgrades. So the moment I guess it was Imp they dropped. No, okay, so it's like Nikov at this stage took a really bad fight. The units he's making are not bad. He just didn't get the groupings up properly. Margugu needed a fight like this 20 minutes later, right before Nikov was able to get his numbers up. Right around the time he needed to get Elite Conic and all the upgrades. But I think, like, Nikov built up his base way too defensively to ever be broken here with Byzantines. If they've got 6 castles set up and a couple relics, Byzantines are normally going to get the job done. Game number 3. We are restarting this because there was an issue with the first map, and we've got Nomad here again. I said last time there's been a lot of TC positions that have been quite close to a lot of these Nomad games. We're still waiting for one TC foundation to pop up here. Somebody's being extremely picky, or I cannot count. What's going on? Who are we missing? There's a TC missing. Am I... Oh, nope, there it goes. Right now. Okay. For Syscon. So, we'll start with France. We've got Margugu, Vietnamese. Margugu directly next to Syscon, Japanese. So, they'll be able to coordinate quite well. And then you've got Sito. Wow, so they're kind of in a line here, France. Though Sito is pretty far away from everyone. Sito playing as the Malians. And we have Nikov as the Persians in the blue. Nearby him, and in a very safe position, is Lucky in the green. And then we have Kapotch as the Bengalis. Now, if you think of the structure, it's kind of west. Wow. West versus east. Sorry. Watched a little too much SpongeBob with west. I think Patrick said that once. So that's kind of nice for team structure, but the docks might shake things up a little bit as well, potentially. Because we've got Sizkan docking the north. We have Sito docking the north. And then Margugu is all the way down here in the south. So they're separated from each other. And between Margugu, Sito would be Kapoch, would be Nikov. And then you've got Lucky, who might end up being the safest player for Argentina in general this game, and he's all the way over here. So there should be no early boar shenanigans here. The last go-around, we saw the players try and bring in the boar right away because they were right next to another player. Here, it shouldn't happen. Okay, so typical Nomad approach, you have at least one player go full water because everyone's going to fish. You want that one player to kill all the opponent's fish and keep your team's fish safe. You don't want your water player to be the guy who's going to go unique unit. So I would say, like, the most obvious unique unit choice could be the Vietnamese player. So probably not them. And you don't want your water player to be the guy who has the worst build either. So if you have no boars, you can't be the fast feudal guy, right? Kapoch's spot came to mind because he's just not bringing in his first boar. So this is a bit weaker than they would want. Now, side note, I have an idea, and I would like my Twitch chat to rank my idea on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? So, Vietnamese, they have the team bonus where enemy TC locations are shown, right? Which is obviously helpful in 1v1s to a degree, and also team games. Guys, don't give a number yet. I didn't even list my idea. I'm talking about Vietnamese. We got someone who's saying 0. They haven't said nothing else in my chat before ever. What? Okay. My idea. Okay. If there's ever a new DLC, and I've said this before, so you already know. I think there should be a civilization where enemy dock locations are revealed. That would be sick for Nomad. So it would be a nice little Nomad bonus to know where enemy dock locations are. And then also it'd be kind of nice for 1v1s as well. Just the starting dock, not all docks. Just the starting dock. Yeah, we got a couple 10 out of 10s. Waste of a bonus? Waste of a bonus? You didn't even give me a number. You just went with the word waste. You're a waste of a bonus. That's what your boss said when he didn't give you a bonus at work this year. No, I'm kidding. I don't know anything about you. I'm sure you're worthy of a bonus. Okay. I'm sorry. I got really personal, chat. That got really personal. I apologize. Now, I think Sizkan, with his skill set with his archer play and being Japanese, would be a really good choice for France to be the water player. And what that can do is, if Sizkan's going full water, he's right next to Sito, and it allows Sito to have a free fish boom. So, like, look at Sito's position. He's right next to all of Argentina. I think you have Sito go fast castle. You drop a castle because you're on UT-seed stone. And you hope to have a safe fish boom alongside that. Now, as I say this, it kind of looks like a water build of some kind for him. Okay, the villa's not going to build another dock. Never mind, I was wrong. But I think he wants to click up here. We'll see. I mean, this could just be a really fast castle. Nikov is clicked up now for Argentina. They know that Sizkan is over here because of the scouting with the fish. They know that someone from France is down here because of the scouting. Not with the fish, sorry. With the sheep. And he's actually going to build his second dock this direction. They don't know that Sito is here. But they know he likely is because they haven't seen anything else with the scouting. This is sick from Argentina. It feels weird if you're new, but sheep scouting is actually key. You don't want to eat them all. And it's just a very Nomad thing. It's what makes Nomad special. Why is Sizkan 3 to 4 vills behind? Sizcon does seem like he's had a really rough start, actually. And I'm not actually completely certain why. He's got the fish. The math is not adding up here. I'll check and see if he lost anything. It doesn't look like... The idle T... Oh, the TC was late. Yeah. The TC was late at the start. Remember we were looking for a TC spot? So his TC being late probably delayed him by 1 to 2 Vils. You can't be picky about that TC spot. So Nikov's definitely going water. What on earth is happening for France with water? Is it going to be Margugu water? Okay, Margugu goes navy. Dude, I think this is going to be really good for Argentina. Because if they go this way, Sito won't have defense for his fish, really. And Sizcon as well is not going to be in a great spot. Double archers from Sito. Double archers. Whoa, okay. That's really rare on Nomad. You normally see water or fast castle. Or if anything in Feudal Age, you see scouts. I don't think Argentina are going to expect that. So they could get called out. I mean, there's a lot of players here that have exposed Vils. But Sizcon is going to lose his fish. Sito is going to lose his fish. One fire galley probably won't be enough to defend this in time because there will be more coming from Nikov. Now, Kapoch, he's going fast castle. He's going to mix in some fires, but he will be hit by Margugu. So he just spotted Margugu's galleys. He's got to get out of there. Remember Lucky. Lucky's going chill fast castle, and his fish are still safe, so he's good for now. Archers are going to move forward for Sito. If he moves in now, it's so good. If he goes in and stops Nikov's walls, it could be so good. Because his fire galley, that's going to be the end of it. He knows he's going to lose his fish, Sito. Kapoch doesn't, or Nikov, sorry, doesn't have army, guys. He doesn't have army. And so he's going to be pushed off of the gold. Sito just left him for whatever reason. But Sito might be trying to hit... He might realize he has the follow-up archers, and he might be trying to hit the next player as quickly as possible. And look what it's doing. It's forcing a tower out of him. We've got Loom. And since Loom isn't in, he can't even complete the tower. That's pretty good for France. And this is needed. The market gets delayed as well. Oh, this is getting really messy. Forcing a lot of reactions. This is 100% needed because the fishing situation is going to be so bad for France. Kapoch's fishing ships are still around, but galley play should be the dominant play here in Feudal Age. Remember, though, Nikov has fish. Lucky didn't lose too much here. Lucky's got more than enough food. If Lucky can just get out to stone and go for Ratans, this could be huge for them. Sizcon hoping the fishing ships will fight another day. And he's dropping archery ranges. Is this going to be Cav archers? I mean, Cav archers with Japanese makes a lot of sense. Could be pretty strong. Kapoch on stone, by the way. I think he might be considering going for a couple towers if the archers get over here. I gotta say this. I'm impressed with France. The fact that Sito has now hit every single player from Argentina is so huge here. He's pushed Nikov off of gold. Nikov doesn't have a gold. He's killing a villager from Kapoch. Kapoch has other things to worry about on water, remember. And then he delayed Lucky. Now Lucky's going to be up. But even still, Lucky had to build 2 towers, which puts him 300 stone away from building that castle he wanted. So usually losing your fish right away is not so good. I mean, he did actually save 2 of his fishing ships as well, you know. And I don't know if Sizcon is going to be able to fish. But if Sizcon could get a dock down by Margugu, maybe he can. Might actually send a Vil that way. Archers from Sito still lurking around. And he's distracting the tower fire with these 2 archers so the rest of the archers can dive the tower. That is some high-level play from Sito. Yeah, because the tower will automatically attack the closest... Oh, boy. It'll attack the closest archers that will continue to fire on those initial archers unless you retask it. And players are not used to doing that. And Sito says, thank you very much. Look at this. Crazy damage. Still, though, Lucky's in Castle Age. Capwatch is going to be in Castle Age. Behind him, Margugu for France will be in Castle Age. I really think, though, that, like, land is becoming a big problem. Nikov did re-wall this. Oh, that's huge. So Nikov can get back on gold now. There is a TC from Lucky, but Lucky is pretty much abandoning any idea of, or any thought process of going military now. Look at, it's the same thing is happening, where the tower was attacking the individual archer. Also, towers just don't hit anything, it feels like. Now they're getting some kills finally, but Sato with a great start. The score's not going to show that because he got hit on water so fast, but he has had a great start here. Cav archers from Sizcon now are on Capwatch, and Capwatch is like, guys, like, what's my plan here? He's recovered a bit on water against Margugu, but, like, he didn't drop a tower at all. I think he wanted a castle. He wanted a defensive castle, and he just buys the stone. He's going to drop it. That might not go up. That might not go up. I mean, he's going to have to YOLO with so many vills, and Sizcon doesn't know the castle's going up. So it probably will complete. He's going to get these villagers instead. So Lucky's been hit. Capwatch has been hit. Capwatch will get his castle, but that doesn't exactly give him gold again. This castle gives him stone. Just seeing some real economic problems here for Argentina. Sato is heavy on stone now. He's going to try and castle drop Nikov, I bet, here in a moment, too. Just full pressure from him. What a game. And Margugu in Castle Age now, upgrading the Navy to give Capwatch more problems. Capwatch hasn't been able to do that. A couple of these galleys from Nikov of hunting down some of Sizcon's leftover fish. Lucky's fish may end up going down to Margugu, though, if Margugu continues to move on. Lucky is full boom. Finally gets the castle. Yeah, the plan was definitely Ratzen's. Nikov will drop a TC, and he'll think, okay, I can eventually make knights, I can boom up on land, and I'm okay to recover here. And Sato says, sup, bro? Castle on your face. Even bringing a cow to the party. I mean, that's just so good. Because Nikov has not been able to freely move out of these little walls because this team doesn't have any land army. And he's going to have to. He's going to have to go this way for gold. And does Sato know about that? Ooh. Okay, well, that's interesting. Sato doesn't actually know about that. Couple Ratha for Capwatch. You could tell he was split in two lines of thinking here. He was going water before, but then he fell off of water because of the land pressure. And now his team is in a better position on water. Or a worse position on water, rather. Because Margugu has killed all their fish. All of it. Except for Nikov's. Sorry, not all of it. That's the other thing for Nikov. It's like, he's supposed to be winning water. There's supposed to be someone else out here patrolling around on land. And that someone else is Lucky and Rats and Archers, which are actually an insane unit the longer the game goes on. And very good against Cav Archers. But Japanese Cav Archers have the extra 2 attack versus Archers. So Rats and Archers might have high pierce armor, so they're a bit tankier. But I feel as though the Japanese Cav Archer bonus might actually even things out a little bit. You could tell Nikov's having a tough time balancing things just because of all the pressure. And Ratha, does anyone know if the Japanese CA bonus works against the Ratha? It should, right? Ratha is a bit weird because it has the different modes, but I think it's still classed as a Cav Archer. So I think it should, right? I don't actually know. I would assume it does. We had one person say no, we had one person say yes, but the person who said yes is apparently the real Jeremy Renner. So we're going to trust Jeremy on that. I'm sure he's really focused on Age of Empires and not other things. We trust Jeremy. Cav Archers getting ballistics now for Sizcon. I'm liking the patience and control. He's got a lot of CA. Look at the eco count for France right now. 25 eco lead for the team. Taking no prisoners, even sniping boars. I think ballistics is just about to complete for Lucky, but rats and archers aren't necessarily owning the CA right now. And life is not going to get any easier for Argentina as they're kind of wedged into a third of the map. France are looking good here, guys. Looking really good. Look at their economies. Margugu, 73 eco. And he's Vietnamese, so he could go into either Cav Archers or Ratson Archers. Either or. I think Ratson's the way to go. Cav Archer would be needed if you needed more army right now, but their team's doing fine in that regard. Look at the military count for Nikov. Eventually, you want the Persian player onto Savar, right? Ooh, but Kapoch might need to try and stop this. See, 2 minutes ago, Sato didn't know about that gold, but Siscon was back there and pointed that out. And now, that's another gold that's going to be a problem for Nikov. The way you get yourself out of this hole if you're Argentina is you have to fight back on land for map control. But it just feels like there's going to be another castle from France on this hill before you know it. Just army everywhere from France. The Rats and Archers just die anytime they move out. The Ratha, still to be seen how good they'll be here. There's 17 of them. They're a pretty tanky unit. They're clunky to use, but could be really strong for a Castle Age unit. Nikov's struggling. Lucky, he needs more, so maybe this brings us back to Kapoch. And Kapoch needs to step it up a little bit. I think Sato is signaling, is saying, do not give them this hill. If you give them this hill, they have a chance back. Cav Archers are a little bit faster than the Ratha, but this might be bad for Siscon. He might get trapped in here. Japanese Cav Archers are strong, but that's a lot of HP chasing him down, and there's Rats and Archers. I think, like, in some ways, you're just kind of okay with dying back here. You take as good a fight as you can. The best place to lose a fight is in the back of your opponent's base. Worst place to lose a fight would be in the middle of the map, where map control is really valuable. Nice little trap here for Argentina, dropping some gates. They will trap this army, but still feels like the Cav Archers got a lot of kills on their way out. I don't think they'll win the fight. That would be ridiculous, right? But it's pretty reasonable trades. This is really good for the CA. And then there's still some units from Sato running around. This wall still hasn't been completed. Guys, France looks so freaking good. And you've got Margugu on the way to Imp. He did his job. He got his boom. His first castle's up to make Rats and Archers. And still really difficult for Argentina to turn this around. Nikov, I don't know what to suggest. I actually think this is a good move. If you can't make any army realistically, at least you could send someone resources to get them to Imp. So I think he's going to do that now. He's getting coinage. We'll probably just sling resources over to Kapoch or Lucky. I think giving the Rats and Archer player Imp would probably be the better approach. So that's probably what we'll end up seeing here. I did see Cav armor researched by Margugu, but I'm going to assume... What? Hold on. He's going for the next Cav armor. Is he going to get Chadras and go for the super chonky elephants? Margugu, don't you make knights, bro. Make elephants. What type of cook is this? This is a boring cook. This is a microwave meal cook. Yeah, I know. They get fully upgraded generic Cavalier. Actually, they're not even fully upgraded, but make the elephants. Cavalier's the safe choice. They've got such a big lead. I think going for the safe choice is understandable. But would have loved to have seen him open with elephants. I'm still surprised he haven't opened with Ratsons. But Vietnamese do get 420 HP on their elephants. Which is like 300 more HP than a Cavalier. But they're also more costly. So, I mean, cost is definitely a factor. Another castle goes up on Nikov's face. Sito probably just needs to settle into a boom now. I don't know how much the Geppetto will actually offer at this point. Looks like he's been trapped in anyways. Argentina, when they saw Margugu was an imp, probably did not feel too good about that. And they're not going to feel much better if a castle goes down here on the hill right next to Kapotch's base. I mean, Cavalier can just stream directly into Nikov's eco, directly into Lucky's eco. This is going to be tough. Margugu's eco has been completely untouched all game. Siscon is blocking a castle foundation, which is nice teamwork. But he moves off it. And Nikov getting pushed over here now. Oh, man. So, guys, it's like every time we cast Nomad, there's always a situation where one guy is surrounded by the enemy. And there are times where that one guy gets defeated, which we have seen. And there are times where that one guy actually plays a massive role. And I know that Sito he doesn't have the score lead for his team right now. But I was really impressed with how he played this. He did damage to Nikov, to Lucky, and to Kapotch in quick order. And then the other two players, like Siscon, had a very easy game. Siscon just went CA and boomed. Margugu focused on water. He didn't have any problems because of the opening from Sito. So Sito, I mean, all players on France played their role perfectly here. So I'm not trying to take credit away from the other two. But Sito probably had the hardest role to play. And he's played it like a beast. The castle... Oh, God! I'm sorry, Sito. I apologize. But, you know, up until that moment, really playing like a beast. And I think Argentina just hoping that Ratan Archers can win it for them, because Elite Ratan Archer is genuinely insane. But this is where Margugu is going to make elephants, because he's amazing, and we love him. 420 HP. You have a free boom, Margugu. Come on, dude. Make the elephants. Even if they're not elite, they're like 350 HP. They're so much tankier, right? Kapotch is dying. Nikov is dying. Castle from Nikov as he hopes to fight back. Push Kapotch off his land. Okay, let's make it more interesting. I will gift 20 subs to the stream if Margugu makes a single elephant. I could have said 20. A single elephant. Just one. He's fully popped. He's got 50 on gold. Make a chonker, bro. Make a chonker, Margugu. I think Kapotch is going to die to this. Kapotch is not going to be around much longer. Nikov is not going to be around much longer. This is over, man. I don't know what they can do against this. 60 Ratan Archers is not going to be enough. Maybe Margugu is an elephant activist? Yes, when I look at Margugu, I think that's a man that really cares about the health of elephants. Yeah. I think he just... Cavalier is so much faster. And you really value the mobility here in this position. At a certain point, though, when you're fully popped, I do think you should think about population efficiency and how your units can get even stronger. And I don't know, research Chatras, and then you have 420 HP elephants. I'm actually rooting for myself to lose money right now. Because I want to see them. But it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. This is a conversation because they have won the game so freaking hard. Margugu sends some resources to Sito to help him out. Cavalier still streaming through from Margugu in full support. And he'll toss away those Cavalier, but they just hold the position even longer. And the Cavalier and the Cav Archers continue to push through. These Cav Archers can be even stronger for Siscon. He just recently got to Imp. So they'll be heavy CA soon. He actually clicks Imperial Skirmisher. And France about to go up 2-1 here in a best of 7. Expect a lot more highly contested games. But this is the end for France. I'm running out of ways to think about how they can come, you know, running out of ways to say they're dead at this point. And yeah, GG's called. I said it already. I said it a couple minutes ago. I'm really impressed with Sato's opening. It's very rare to see double range archer opening at pro level Nomad. You normally see competing for water and only water. You see going fast castle and forgetting water and going like unique unit or castle drop, which would have made a lot of sense when they were this close. Or occasionally maybe some scouts or something. But what you don't see is the double range opening. And kind of the cool thing, which is like so... I don't know. It's kind of an underrated move, and it worked out so well. Watch this. So he just wanted to force reactions. So he goes in here, he sees Nikov, and he attacks Nikov. And look at him. He leaves because he's like, okay, Nikov's going to freak out. I'm delaying him. The next 2 archers will pick up the slack, and I've got to move towards pocket. And so he moved big time towards pocket, and I want to see how long it even took him to get to Kapoj. Okay, so he goes here, he gets here, boom, 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 doing damage, boom, hightails it right over to Kapoj. Like, it was just so fast. And there was no hesitation, and sure, Nikov came back on gold for a second, but then he has to be off of gold because Kapoj shows up with the next archers. Sure, green clicks up to castle, but then he needs to drop a couple extra towers, and he has to always worry about garrisoning his villas. It was just all 3 players for Argentina. They had jobs, but they couldn't do their jobs because Sato was sneaking in to their base. And what that means is that makes life way easier for Margugu because Margugu's not getting hit by archers. Margugu's not being frustrated by that. And it makes life eventually easier for Siscon because Siscon had like just his job was to fast castle. So if you can have 1 player disrupt 3 in Nomad, it sets up your team for success. That's what France did a really good job of there. And then also, I thought it was really sick how he kept coming. Like, he had follow-up with castles and, like, crossbow and, like, siege push. Like, he just never gave up. Game number 4. The way the civs are stacking up, things are looking really good for France, even if they lose this game. So I'd say Argentina, this is a big one for them. Remember back in the 1v1 scenario, Nikov, Argentina's best player, played there. He did win, but whoever played in the 1v1 couldn't be saved for this 2v2. France used Margugu there, and so Sato is available, and Sato has had an amazing series. For Argentina, though, we've got Lucho playing as the Burgundians. We've got Lucky playing as the Italians. Very nice map for Lucky. If he gets tower rushed, this is a dream. And he's actually up against Poles as well. Here we've got Siscon. This is the civilization that would most likely tower rush. We've seen that a lot. And then we have Sato playing as the Bohemians. And again, this map for Lucky is disgustingly good. Obviously, the wood's going to be safe. Like, it's arena. But both of his golds are on the back. His stone is on the back. And his berries are on the back. We could go through 25 different generations on this map script and probably not see a map better than this for defending from a push. So, yeah. I expect that to be quite good, especially considering he's up against Poles. And Poles will likely go for some type of tower rush. Now, late game, Poles normally rely on Cav. And if you rely on Cav, and you're up against Italians with Genoese crossbowmen, that's not so good. So I do think that in some ways, the French are going to need to push and stop the Italian player from getting to a good position. On the other hand, you have Bohemians, which are probably the best late game civilization in this particular game here, like Hufnitsa Halb. They can 1v2 the enemy with Hufnitsa Halb themselves. But you're rarely going to have that time. We might even see crazy castle drop from Sato, right? They always have the Hussite wagon as well. So, anyone else jealous of this map, though? Like, I played a lot more arena than I'd like to admit. Where's this map for me, bro? What did Lucky do? Oh, his name is Lucky! Okay. All right. Everyone's changing their name to Lucky. It didn't Didn't think about that. And they're going to get better maps. Makes sense. All right. Lucho's map is pretty good. I wouldn't expect that he gets tower rushed or anything. Not from Bohemians. We might see the fast feudal boom strategy, though. Let's see how he approaches this. So, why are we seeing the fast feudal boom more in 2v2s than, say, 4v4s, chat? Give me your thoughts. I don't even know if he's necessarily going to do it, but it kind of feels like it. Okay, someone said, I'm jealous of your face. All right, well, thanks. That's not what I wanted, though. I'm not jealous of your ears. More likely to be tower rush. Okay, so that's one thing. Yes, that's one thing. Distance? Probably not one thing, because I think they're actually closer in 4v4s. The reason is because imp timings matter so much more. Like, lower economy and faster imp timings matter so much more in a 2v2, right? Like, in a 4v4, if you go super low eco fast imp, there's going to be people to back you up. In a 2v2, you just got two people. Also, Margugu's in the chat here. Margugu, well played so far today, dude. Margugu rooting on his team here. But yeah, so we're actually not going to see it now from Lucho. We're going to see just the standard fast castle anyways with Burgundians. But I think it adds some flexibility, but it leads to you having more food in the bank in early castle age to adapt into a fast imp if need be. So it's all about the imp transition, which I think is really important. Oh, Margugu, by the way, chat is very disappointed in you. You didn't make a single elephant with Vietnamese. You had the freest boom of your life. I bet subs that if you made a single elephant, people would get gifted subs. So, like, you know, well played. You did a good job in this big semifinal, $50,000 prize pool. I hope you're proud, but, like, you also disappointed thousands. Okay, Margugu said, I said to my team, I'm going elephants and bombard towers, and my team was like, Margugu, stay serious, please. Okay. All right. You know what? I think that's worth 10 gifted subs, because he wanted to do it, and his team said, Margugu, stay serious, please. Okay, all right. I believe it. I believe you. You don't have to say which one was telling you to stay serious. I'm sure that was Sato. Sato was like, don't throw the game. I mean, again, guys, elephants are much slower. They are more costly, and they had the lead, so they needed to kill fast. Cavalier made sense for a while there. Well, we're not seeing a tower rush from anybody. I thought Siscon was going to do that initially, but he's just going for a fast castle here. We have a wide variety in gold shapes here. We've got this gold, which is kind of shaped like a key, maybe? I don't know what that would be exactly. We've got this gold, which is shaped like a pistol of some kind. Maybe a hammer, a T. All right, we've got this gold, which is shaped like a Tetris piece. Well, God, I haven't played Tetris in a long time, but it's like a car with no wheels. All right, and then we've got this gold, which is like a hook, a fishing hook, yes, or maybe a candy cane. Okay, there we go. Why is my chat more active in those moments than if I ask about strategy and in-depth conversation? Why do you guys wake up in those moments? I don't get it. It's going to be stable here for Lucho. We do have Vills on stone for Sato. I think we're going to see a forward castle. Does he queue up Loom here? Let's see. No Loom. Dude, it's like, I think Argentina know it's possible. Look at them lurk. They're lurking around right now. We're just waiting. These scouts right here, waiting for villagers to walk across the map, are like the people without subs in my chat, waiting for gifted subs to just fly in. They're just like, I want it. I'm waiting. I'm ready. It's, you know, unfortunately, that's not how it works because you can't really earn it, you know. Oh, we've had some good gifters today. Thank you, Potato King. I miss Potato King. Thank you, Potato King. I don't know, like, you got a bit of a scald advantage with the HP here. Maybe you could consider sending the Vills forward even without Loom. Forward castle would be crazy risky, though. Especially when Lucho normally would make scouts here with the Burgundians. So I think it's a defensive castle for Sito. For sure. And Lucky Scout is just getting chased around. And he loop-de-loops back here. And France have to be careful. And they didn't notice. And now they notice. And the scouts should end up going down. Little surprised. I guess Sito maybe, or Siscon wants to get that kill there. He's probably just going to sacrifice his own scout in the process. Lucky has the luckiest base ever, so he's just going to instantly boom. And then Sito, or sorry, Siscon, he's going scouts as well here. There's the castle. Okay. So this is a scary thing to see. Because the Hussite wagon, I've talked about this in so many videos over the past few months. It's a nightmare to deal with. It's high HP. It is kind of inaccurate, but it makes it really hard to play against because you can't really micro against it because it feels like you're still getting hit anyways. The good thing for you is it's expensive and it's far away from you. So the fact that castle's at home isn't actually too bad for Lucho. What I would suggest is just a siege workshop in your walls and you don't do anything too fancy from there. Force them to break through your walls before that next step matters. And he's Burgundians. He's got great economy, so he's going to have time. Sito is just going to snag relics. He's just going to make one wagon, but he did go for a TC here, so I think Sito might actually have a bit more of an economic presence here. Relics are kind of nice, but they're, then again, not as important in a team game. The more players there are in a team game, the less important relics are, unless there's bonuses involved, like Lithuanians. But it's a 2v2, right? So still less eco to go around. Imperial Villager says they nerfed wagons a bit last patch. I mean, they've nerfed and changed wagons and organ guns a bunch of times. I still think they're really tough to play against. But I think if any civ can deal with this, it's got to be Burgundians when the Bohemian player has to place the castle so far back home. Like the weakness of the Hussite wagon would be siege. Monks can always convert that siege, but it's a bit different in a team game. I think if you get to 5 wagons, that's enough wagons where light cav can't be anywhere close. And then you could start to consider a forward siege workshop or another forward castle, which I think is Sito's plan. So he didn't want to throw the game with the forward castle getting denied. He builds up his army now. We're probably not too far away from these vills coming forward, guys. So what you want is you want a castle on the gold because you want to mine that gold. So you can bring your gold miners. They'll just take a temporary break from mining, build the castle, right back to work. Lucky is Italians, guys. Hear me out. Fast Imp. Well, it's not really Fast Imp, but what about condos here? Could maybe go condos if you're Lucho. It is a team unit. The team bonus unit, right? So allies to the Italians can make it. There goes the light cav from Lucho. Looking for that monk. Siscon is around and Sito is around. Sito's going to have 3 relics. Oh, man. We're actually seeing petards from Sito? That's crazy. And Lucho's getting redemption so he can convert the wagons. Oh, boy. Okay. It's starting to heat up in here. Someone turn on a fan. Oh, now you need 2 petards to break through the wall, so you can't just make one. Unless, I guess the Hussite wagons do some damage versus walls too. I like this from Lucho because he can just heal up. Yeah, and now he sees the wagons. He's got to get back into his base here. Okay. More light cap production coming from Syscon in support. He's dropping outposts because Lucky's free booming. He needs to know what Lucky will do. Lucky's just turtling up. Will build up for Genoese. That will be a big problem for France, especially Syscon, because Syscon's usually just going to be focused on Cavalier with his Civ. He doesn't have to. He could go Arbalest. There's 2 petards. 2 petards take out a single piece of stone wall, and everything could fall apart here for Lucho, because if the light cav get through, the monks go down, the defense is gone for the wagons, and this castle goes on Lucho's face. Does Lucho know about this? He killed a petard! He sniped a petard! That's way more important than sniping anything else, because you need 2 to get through. But hold on, now they're going to immediately attack the wall piece, and then the petard comes in. Villagers, move. Let the petard do his job. Move. People, sort it out. He can't find it. He can't find it. And now the monks convert 1 wagon. Oh, he's through. He converts 3 wagons. 4 wagons and the monks go down. What in the world? So that could have been worse for Lucho. Obviously quite bad. He loses all of his monks. But in the end, he gains more wagons than Citeaux has. And it's a disaster for France. That is totally worth it. That was a crazy sequence. Redemption pays off. Citeaux has been low eco approach the whole game as well. So he's already going to lose Vills. This is a lot of idle time. He also didn't have Loom. So no Loom doesn't help things. And now I love Argentina's position. It's kind of funny. When you see wagon v wagon, they're just... They do very little damage versus each other. So converting the wagons is actually more helpful than converting other units, because they just sit there and tank shots. And your opponent's really uncomfortable with being able to still push forward. Like, how much damage is actually being done? 10 damage against, like, 6 Pierce Armor, and you're doing 4 damage a hit against a unit that's 160 HP. Can someone math that for me? 4 damage against 160 HP. How many hits do you need to kill a Hussite wagon with a Hussite wagon? 40. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Okay. Citeaux is imping. Syscon is imping. But Lucho, or Lucky, is imping with the greatest economy. And he has Genoese crossbow. So you cannot go Cav if you're the Poles. You'd have to go Skirm or Arbalest. They do have both. But Lucky will have all the momentum. We'll drop a castle here. We'll have Trebs. And he'll break into Syscon's base pretty quickly. Lucho isn't up yet. He still hasn't clicked, which is a bit worrying for me. Because he did lose a lot of his monks. And Citeaux... I mean, Citeaux could actually send wagons this way. Wagons are sick over here. Wagons are absolutely disgusting against Genoese. Oh, no! Argentina! No! He does have Loom. He does have Loom. But the Genoese crossbowmen are doing 1 damage a shot to the wagons, guys. 1 damage. Citeaux is focusing down the Vills. There are going to be a couple condos that come out. This is really nice for Citeaux. If he could deny this castle, it gives Syscon so much more breathing room. The castle's at 90%. There's 3 Vills. There's 2 Vills. There's 1 Vill. Is she still alive? She's still somehow alive. She's still alive. She's still alive. But, oh, man. I mean, I guess the castle's going to go up eventually anyways. What a great job. Whoa! Okay. Well, I have an apology to make. What we didn't see while this castle was being denied was that this castle was being denied. So, my bad. Lucho killed 16 units. 6 of them were Vills. That castle was at 92% as well. And Argentina ends up completing this castle anyways. So, ends up giving Lucho a lot of time that we didn't think he would have. And Sito is at 65 vills. Sito is just going to go monks and hope for the best right now, it feels like. But that feels so wrong when your opponent has light cav. Also, what's sad is the wagons have played a really important role for Lucho ever since he converted them. Like, it's an army that he's really taken advantage of. He didn't even pay for them. Now, there's 2 trebs for Sizcon. He may end up pushing this back. Interesting, he's also getting the unique tech instead of making another treb. I would have preferred he go for the trebs first. But I guess he might still be thinking YOLO Cavalier could be a play. Kondo's running around from Lucky. And they could maybe swoop in at any time. I mean, the position for Sito is so rough. He wants this castle. I don't even know. What is this? I mean... Nope. That ain't it. Go back. That ain't it. That's not gonna happen. Monks go down. He's waiting for more army now. This is all on Sizcon. He's got a really nice economy. But is he able to push back this army at the front of his base? I think Lucho should go Paladin right now. Right? Like, full Paladin makes a lot of sense. I don't hate condos either. But it's not like Sito has the eco to go for Halbs. Like a normal boom game. And the enemy doesn't have Italians. They have Poles. So, I would really like to see the Paladin upgrade. I think he could do a lot of things, and they could still just get the job done because of his lead now. And Sizcon is still trying to win this Treb war. He's losing a lot of the crossbowmen. He is going to try and surprise with Cavalier, but the second that Cavalier are spotted, then Genbos are going to come out of the castles. At least you would think. Bombard cannon, ooh, goes down, but gets the Treb. Sito needs help, guys. Sito needs a lot of help. And Sizcon can only provide that help if he defends over here, which he has done. And, you know, there's only 10 Genoese crossbow for Lucky and only 1 castle. And I also don't think he's expecting Cavalier. So there's actually a chance here. Watch this. A lot of this army is vulnerable right now for Lucky. His Trebs are vulnerable. Sito hasn't taken losses yet. And looks like it's going to be maybe Elite Coustilier is the choice for Lucho. Lucho's going to send the help. But all right. I mean, well played from Sizcon. He held the front there. Shaky moments for Argentina. And Sito has a lot of monks. That's the situation for him. If Sito can get bombard cannons and trebs to start to push Lucky and push Lucho, it'll be tough for Lucho to support Lucky all the time. Which right now it feels like they might need to do. Maybe there's a chance. Argentina need this though, right? Like ever since they got that big lead up against Sito, it felt like this is their time. But Poles are no joke. Super cheap Cavalier that can be made forever, and they do get Arbalest. So you have the Arbalest available for the Genoese crossbow, which are in a higher number now, but still not that high. Sito going to convert monks, going to convert the condos that Blue has to try and push this army. And all of a sudden, I'm starting to believe, with France having this position, that maybe they could do something here. Sito is a pretty nice army size. He's got 50 army. He could, in theory, convert every single condo there. That's a lot of monks. There's no real answer to the monks. And this... France take the score lead here. And, oh, man... The doubt could start to creep in a little bit here if you're Argentina. The nerves, right? Like, are we throwing this game? And, oh, my God, Sito is locked in on, like, 10 different condos there. As Lucho is going to start to lose his castle. Man, Paladin would have been so sick. Like, if he could already be on Paladin from 6 stables, and this all gets pushed back, this would have been into monks, sure. But he's trying to go Elite Custilier now, which is also sick. But he might start to lose his castles. Also, does anyone know, is Heresy an option here for the Italians? I don't think Burgundians get Heresy. I think I know that, but actually I'm not even certain. It's a lot of gold to invest into that upgrade. But against this many monks, it might be worth it. Castle will go down as things stand. Argentina shifting their focus back this way. 60 army for Citeaux. What a recovery. What teamwork. What a great job from Sizcon. The score is just flipped back to Argentina. But Argentina's army's on the other side now. They're not here to defend Lucky's castles, which we know pretty important. So he can get to Elite Genoese. Big fight. Citeaux is converting with so many different monks. How does he do it? He's got them all numbered. And just a big meat grinder push here. The Genoese, though, are here. The Genoese should kill almost everything in their path. And what's going to be remaining for the Genoese is going to be the monks. I think the monks will end up dying here as well, though, guys. Some conversions are happening. Oh, there's a pushback here from Lucky to take the Trebs at least. This is still so close. Argentina still have such a nice eco lead. They don't trust themselves to engage against those monks, though. That's crazy. I think they could win the fight right now. Like, there's a lot of these monks that don't get clicked onto a target each time. I think, like, if you lose this side, you start to lose the game. You got to fight soon. But, oh, God, he's going for so many conversions. He's doing such a good job, Citeaux. And then Sizcon is pushing here. He's got 3 Trebs. He's dropping a castle right next to it. Textbook. That's exactly what you want. Because by the time your opponent gets here, they've probably already lost their castle, and there's a castle there to defend the Trebs as well. Oh, man. Sizcon on both sides here, guys. Defending his Trebs here. Will he keep them alive? He might. He's repairing. Huh. Huh. It stays up. It actually stays up. I think Lucky's is distracted. Lucky was looking over here. And the castle's going to fall for Lucho. Oh, no, Argentina. Oh, no. Citeaux is alive again. He's locked in on the Elite Custilier. He's got bombard cannons. He's got halbs. What is this, like 20 monks? 23 monks? Could also research a tech that makes his monks just cost food. Which he may have researched, honestly. I actually don't know. I think the core issue right now for Argentina is that cav from the enemy becomes very strong because the castles are, for the most part, down. Well, not yet. But they're getting very low on castle numbers on the left-hand side for Lucky. And also, Lucho is also relying on making castle units. And he's only on 2 castles. Like, he's going to snag Burgundian Vineyards so his farms bring him gold. But he needs his farmers to become military. If only... Oh! I actually forgot. Okay, well, they do actually have a tech which does that. I don't know if that would be the play. Oh! He just did it! He just did it! Okay! He just did it! We have the first revolution I've seen in a really long time. And Lucho says, convert this, bro. You have 23 monks. I have 190 military. He has pressed the button. And we've got Flemish militia. We've got Elite Custilier. This is more of a panic button than anything. And let's see how this goes. If France hold this, they will win this game. Because they have actual eco, guys. It's going to be tough for Lucho to recover from this one. But can they clear it up? Let's see. There's still 100 Flemish militia around. Some of them are not as courageous as the others. They're gonna deny Citeaux's castle. And they're gonna actually push this back. What is happening? What? That's the thing, right? You go from 40 army to 200. With the press of a button, it changes the military count so significantly. is why the devs nerfed it pretty much into the ground. They made it so expensive. But, you know, it's going to be interesting now because Lucho has to produce more vills, and he has to get them all back onto farmers. Like, he will not be able to produce more army after this. And so I think this castle from Sito is kind of him understanding that literally any type of fortification to just hold, and they could be okay. Now, I don't know if Sizcon's going to be okay, but he seems to have a lot of map control. And I'm still giving France the advantage here. The most important units on the field right now for Argentina are these trebs, because you need to go Flemish militia into having the siege to take down their fortifications. If these trebs get sniped, this becomes very problematic. Guys, look at the cav spam from Sizcon. He's got more Cavalier in queue. It's so cheap for him. He always has the Arbalest around. And the army count now is pretty close for both teams. And Lucho is only at 18 vills, only at 50 Flemish militia. No more solid army after that. And the French are going to hold against the revolution. And, I mean, score keeps flip-flopping, which is kind of crazy. But I just don't think Lucho's going to be in the game pretty soon. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, Lucky's playing out of his mind right now. He's got Genoese. He's got skirms. He's adding trade. The trebs are still here. Well, actually, Sito is struggling. Sito has no gold. Sito has no gold income right now. 0. So if they can't take these, they need to take these trebs, France. Yeah, if they take the trebs and take the Genoese, maybe then Sito can chill. Wait, did he get the food monk tech then? Yeah, he must have got the food monk tech. It's very rare that pros get that, but it makes a lot of sense here. Okay. So his monks do cost food. But yeah, now it's like, what's to stop France from just full trade booming and full pushing as green is the only one left, right? The revolution, it was definitely a panic. I think they were going to lose without it. Would you guys agree? Like, I felt like they were definitely going to lose without a big push back, and they needed it. But, yeah. Oh, wait, the icon's here. He didn't get it. Oh, I'm stupid. Well, that explains why Sito doesn't have the gold anymore, then. Because he spent it all on the monks. Yeah, I think Paladin opening in early Imp would have been the best play from Lucho. I agree. But you're past that point now. You can't go back in time. And now it's about Lucho hoping that they give him a little bit of time. And if they give him a little bit of time, maybe he can at least spam the light cav. Which could be good against monks. Not going to be good if Sito starts to make halbs again. Which he's pretty well set up to do. Lucky was trying to do 3 things at the same time. Well, Lucky was trying to do 3 things at the same time because he was kind of in a position where he had to. Because think about what Sizcon was making. Sizcon showed him crossbow with bracer, and then Sizcon surprised him with cav. So initially going Genoese makes sense because you're against Poles. Then you see Arbalest, and then you're like, oh no, I need skirm. And then right when he got back onto skirm, right when he was onto it, it switched back again from Sizcon. So that I think that's just epic play from Sizcon because it's a bit of a mind game. Oh no, the trade. You stupid trade carts. No, don't let him gold heist. Oh my god. Wait a second. What a scam. Sito converted the trade cart and it lost its gold? What kind of crap is that? The trade cart definitely had gold. When he converted it, it no longer has gold. And Sito is now sending the trade cart into Lucho's economy towards his market right now. He's going to try and steal some gold from the guy. It might actually work. But, yeah, I mean, 79 vills is still so few against 130. And I don't know, like, if green comes to save blue, then yellow's going to be here. And again, what a game from Sizcon. Sizcon's had a ridiculous showing here. And a great comeback from Sito. Now, this fight might not be too good for him, though, because this is mainly skirmishers and mainly monks. There are a couple halbs. Maybe there's enough halbs in there. But that's a pretty expensive loss for Sito, considering. Still going to be fine. He's got more monks. And there's a massive army from yellow here to run right into the eco. Only thing France aren't doing is trading, which is kind of interesting. But France's trade, I mean, I don't know if it's going to have time to pay off. Maybe they'll get a couple trips in, but I think Lucho just dies here. And then France will be one win away from making it to the grand final with what would be a rematch up against China from the earlier rounds, where they ended up winning that series. It was a really nice series. I'm sure China is licking their lips at a chance of getting some revenge there. There's Hussite reforms. So that's going to be... Now the monks will cost food here for Sito. And we're looking at 150 army. And we're looking at 2 Argentinians that don't want to accept they lost this game. In a very heated game. They're focused, doing everything they can do. This is an entertainment for them, right? This is entertainment for us. We can look at it in a different way. But this is going to be tough for Argentina now. France, I think, too consistent. Like, when they fall behind, they can bring it back. And when they get ahead, they've stayed ahead. They played super smooth. I even felt the same with Margugu in the 1v1. Like, Margugu fell behind, even probably at a worse civ. Had a really good performance there, despite the loss. And GG's called. And France go up 3-1. Man, guys, what went wrong here? It looked so good for Argentina. What went wrong? What could have gone differently here? I think Lucho didn't open as strong as he could have. I think he was scared to go against Halb when he could have probably just gone full Paladin and just won the game with some Trebs. Full Paladin Trebs, I think, was a big deal. Lucky... Well, I think he had some problems because Sizkan defended the push really well, and Sizkan mind-gamed the absolute crap out of him. Like, in what worlds can you show up with Cavalier against Italians and Imp and actually push it back? Well, in a world where you show Arbalest first, and they don't expect you to be able to do both. So I think the biggest thing is I really think Lucho needed to go Paladin. He wasn't sure what unit to go for. And then... After that, like, I'm not going to be too critical of Lucky because Lucky had to recover this side. And then I think Sizkan played like a god. And got the better of him there. But a really interesting game. But now, Argentina is going to have to win 3 straight. It's going to be tough against how good this French team is playing. Sizkan with 38k food and 4k stone. Pretty big boom as well for Sito there with the gold. He made... How many monks did he make? Is that top 3? No. Okay, so he made less than 126 monks. But wait a second. This is a problem. This actually says enough. That the second most created military unit for Argentina was 148 Flemish militia. So Lucho never made over like 98 of any unit. And it felt like he had a really nice lead. And again, I think if he's up against any other civ, he just goes Paladin, and it's the easiest game ever. But against Bohemians, against Monks and Halb, he felt uncomfortable doing so. Game number 4. We got France, and we've got Argentina. This is one of my favorite maps. And Argentina might be feeling a little low after the previous game, because they really wanted to tie it up. But... France held on, and now France are 1 win away from finishing it off. France have gone for some big picks here. 3 of their top 5 civ picks. If Argentina can get the job done here, that's a nice momentum swing for them to bring this back. Now, the expectation is that any mezzo flank is going to lame. So here comes the Eagle and the Vil from Margugu. Here comes the Eagle and the Vil now from Capoch. This is better for the Mayan player because they started with the extra Vil. And The only way you can really defend from this is either engage against it right away, which is an option, but also bring in your Rhino right away. Don't allow them to lame you too badly. You also see that over here, Sizkan was trying to push in whatever Zebra he could. But it's just annoying. Pockets then, you're expecting lots of booming, lots of knights, potentially camels from the Persians. Nikov got like 4 relics the other day, but he was Franks. Now he's like, give me Lithuanians. And then I'll be able to really dominate if I get that many relics again. But a lot of this hunt just kind of died out here for no reason, no purpose in life. Just dying in the sand. And maybe Sizkan will take some of this. Maybe Sizkan will build here, but that's a good start there for Kapoch so far. Over on this side, same deal. Just lots of sad, useless hunt. Dead in the sand. But I think Lucho is going to struggle against this more than Sizkan will. Because Sizkan is Britons. You don't start with less food or anything. You also have the sheep bonus to help you recover. Chinese have 0 food in the bank at the start. So you like, on only a 1 elephant map, you really need this. But this is the way to do it. You can come out here. You can still take this hunt. And maybe you can kill Margugu's Vil. I say you leave 1 Vil chasing. Not all of them. And then the others can take the hunt. Here, Lucho. I'm a little surprised by that. I think you really... Like, that villager's almost dead. I think you need to try and make Margugu pay, but... Lucho needs the food more than anything right now. Did you guys check the clip? Was there actually a PlayStation logo next to the players there? That's really weird. Look at the teamwork here. Sizkan has brought his scout over because he knows the Vil is coming, and he's actually helping Sito push the Zebra in. Wow, that's super weird. Why were there PlayStation logos next to their names? Thanks, DE. I made a screenshot, put it in the Discord. I'm going to message some Microsoft people about that and see how they feel about it. So you kind of got to deal with Kapoch. If Kapoch is going to linger back here, you don't want this villager to be messing with you. So this might need to be chased down. It doesn't seem like they've been too bothered by it. Or maybe they didn't track it. I just assumed they knew. But yeah, Kapoch has just wandered all the way through here. He's going to wall up that gold. Is Microsoft working with Capture Age on a PlayStation port? I don't know. Was this a leak? Did they accidentally add something preemptively to the game that just got leaked? Can you play the game on a PlayStation right now? Does anyone know? I know, like, PlayStation 1 you could play. It was actually released in early PlayStation. But, like, updated PlayStations, I'd be surprised. Teamwork again here from France as they're going to push in the hunt towards Margugu. There's a PS2 version. Man, this is maybe a little nerdy, but I really want to collect all versions of Age of Empires that ever came out. Like, I think there was a DS version, a PlayStation 2 version. I really would just want that for my stream room, because I have a lot of the early discs from Age 1 through to like Age 3, AOM. I've got a lot of like cool stuff. I got like old manuals and whatnot, but yeah, it'd be something I would really like. T90, your career is streaming this game. You're already a huge nerd. Listen, let me live the dream that I'm not a nerd, okay? Just like all of you. You would never classify yourself as a nerd, and yet you're here. So, on paper, you probably are. So Lucho's uptime is going to be pretty solid here. Will he be making army, though? To me, this looks like wall approach. Sito is in feudal age already. Sito is taking the fight. Does he not see there's a Vil there? Huh? All right, so he throws away that scout. I don't think he saw the villager there. I think that he thought that was an easy clear up. He may have also been distracted. And the Argentinians, will they know They don't see the stable through the palisade wall, but I think the uptime from Sato should give them an idea, which is maybe what prompted Lucho to run out here to get these walls done in the first place. You gotta complete these walls. You have to. You have to. You have to. You have to. Okay, the scout's weak and can't help, but the eagle can't kill the villain on its own. So Lucho is playing defense as Sato and Margugu were going to go army. And then there's no scout support whatsoever from Nikov. Am I crazy? Yeah, Nikov's going fast castle. I'm just missing a building here that he hasn't built yet. So it's going to be shaky for Lucho. I actually would love to see him just fully stonewall this. I know it might look bad initially, but scouts and archers could still potentially play a role. Chinese are just all about playing safe in the early game. As long as you don't take significant losses, you're fine. Players are going to chop through to the middle. And that might be the focus now for France with their armies. The scouts for Sato is actually headed over this way. Siskan sees the walls are up from Kapoch. And yeah, Nikov, when Nikov plays like absolute god on this map, and he's going to chop through, he's going to make knights, and he wants a TC on one of these golds. So, we're all here watching a 25-year-old game. If anyone here doesn't think they're a nerd, I've got some bad news. Yeah, exactly. Someone says, I may be a nerd, but not a huge one. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Different classification of nerd. Are they looking for Kapoch's Ville right now? Or does Sato just have nothing else to do with his scouts, so he's just scouting the back of the base? Because he hasn't chopped through yet. Guys, did we show Kapoch's Ville? What happened to it? Does anyone remember? I think I probably showed it, and I just forgot by now. It's been a while. But yeah, I don't think he ended up getting home. I'd say it probably died. We could check the Eco KD. Huh? He didn't lose it? Where did that guy go? This is just the eagle. These are palisade walls. I guess he got home somehow. I don't understand. He was here. The Ville walked back home. Did it actually? Well, then if they didn't kill it, they're probably extremely paranoid that Kapoch is back there right now. And that's why they're checking. And that might live in the back of their mind as well. Like, they're really checking for this thing. Oh, now you see the eagle moving in this direction? So you're thinking, oh, he's coming from his sneak base. There's nothing here. Meanwhile, Lucho's sending his archers to the middle. And Nikov is setting up his monastery. Nikov's setting up his TC. There's no army here from France to stop this. And there's a signal from Siskan. I can't click this freaking scout. Siskan, I think, is like, check this. He's telling him to check here now. Like, they really are looking for this Ville, dude. They think the Ville's walled in or something. That's so funny. And somehow the Ville just got home. Guys, I checked. Kapoch didn't lose a Ville. I checked it. So he somehow got home with it. And they're super paranoid right now. The thing is, they saw the range from Kapoch, but they don't have any scouting on the middle yet. So they don't know that Kapoch is just playing full archers in a normal capacity. They're still looking for that. That's so freaking funny, dude. Margugu's going archers. He's going to chop through here in the middle in a second. Archers are here from Kapoch. And Siskan might be a little surprised by this. He's not fully chopped through yet. Well, I guess he did, but he walled it up. At a certain point here, France just have to realize that Ville's not there, and they have to play the game normally, right? But Nikov is like, he's going to go 3 TCs, greed no army. He might end up getting multiple relics. There are scouts out now from Sato. Not a bad spot to be in. Lucho hasn't clicked up yet, but Lucho does have lots of archers here. And Margugu needs to be careful, really careful. If fletching was in, tons of Villes die there. But there was no fletching because he needs to click up to castle, so nice snipe there from Lucho. Signal now from Sito, and he's pointing out, all right, guys, keep an eye out. Don't let this guy get the relics, as Nikov's monk is waltzing forward. This monk is even more bold than that Vil from Kapoch that wandered all around the planet before retiring on his farm. And talk about getting the far relics first, Nikov. I mean, holy. Like, have upgrade in for Sito, and ooh, Lucho. Lucho doesn't have upgrades yet. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh, it's been a rough game or two for the 18-year-old. He's played so good this tournament, but oh, he's chopped open. He's not up yet. Margugu is pouncing on him with Sito. And it's the same issue Argentina had before when Nikov doesn't make the army. Of course, Nikov, it's part of the strategy, but there's no support and activity on the map. And oh my god, if you give France a chance, they just run right through. Yikes, dude. Well, that turned around quickly. I think Lucho is dead, guys. Crazy aggression from Sito and Margugu. Again, it's like they see an opportunity. The archers showed up, and guess what? 45 seconds later, Sito is there and Margugu is there, and they just jump right on top of it. It reminds me of the Arabia game and so many of the other games where if there's blood in the water, they're going to strike. Nikov's got his relics, and now Nikov's going to make knights, and the knights are going to have crazy attack with Lithuanians. That's great. But guess what? Now your flank player is pretty much out of the game. And so Nikov's going to need to go into overdrive, where he and Kapoch are pretty much going to be the only two around right now. I just want to see Eco KD. I mean, Margugu's killed 17 Vils, lost 1. And, ooh, hold on. I am actually seeing Sizcon kill the Vil from Kapoch, but I'm guessing that wasn't the sneak Vil. It's just that stat is a little misleading. It's not going to get any better for Lucho because he doesn't have access to resources, right? So he's not going to have near as much army. Margugu could kill him right here if he just advanced forward and denied this TC. Like, this could end it. And I don't know, like, there's not going to be positive things being said on the voice channel right now. This is... I don't want to say it's GGable, but it really is getting close to that point. Nikov's going to need to push back, like, right now. Lucho's down to 24 pop. He did get the TC up, but he can't even freely mine gold. He can't even freely chop wood. Over on this side, Sizcon is Britons, so he has the additional range for the archers. So I would give an advantage to him normally against the Incas, but really good micro from Kapoch, and then Nikov is here as well. Doesn't have +2 armor yet, but he is here in support, and we'll jump on top of this. Sito now will probably be a little bit more comfortable making camels because there's not going to be many crossbowmen on Lucho's side. Yeah, and Lucho, like, at a certain point, which that point is now, Margugu doesn't even need to focus on Lucho anymore, and he could just send army with Sito, and they could focus primarily on Nikov. And Margugu just runs right through and says, okay, all right, you don't have many Vils left to sit in that TC. And now you sit on the wood, and now you sit on the gold, pretty much, right? Margugu loving life. I think Margugu wants to keep his crossbows alive more than anything. He could have maybe gone into the back of Nikov's base, but I think this is fine. This is actually a pretty good fight for Argentina. Camels are still not great against this many crossbows. You'd expect that Britons would be way ahead of Incas, but Kapoch just had a pretty good game. But how long until Margugu just moves into the middle? Dude, hold on a second. That's a lot of knights with +4 attack. And that can be +6 if he actually researches attack upgrades. I don't know. Maybe if France overextend once, this gets out of hand and this gets crazy. Like, if Margugu did move across the map right now, he could be jumped on and he could lose everything. I think that's why he's being patient, because they don't know where Nikov is right now. Trying to get a feel. Because Nikov's approach was much better for the economy, and he got all those relics. Uh-oh. Camels need to get out of here. Uh-oh. 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 Uh-oh, France. Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. This is so bad. This is so bad. This is so bad! Oh, my goodness. It's a slaughter. Maybe there's a chance. A big army of camels just went down. Sato doesn't really have... He's not really sure what army to make. I'm shocked he's making camels. I'd like to see Persian knights, but... Because the camels make sense if the crossbow numbers are way ahead on both sides. Knights are going to die for Nikov. If he made knights, though, he would have significantly worse knights in a knight v knight battle. So that's probably the logic. Here comes Margugu to help out. Lucho is going to be back in, you know, like 10 minutes maybe with some archer numbers. That's going to take him some time. He's got Vils producing. He's got archers producing, but never really going to compete. But Margugu's here now. So it's 3 players versus 2, but Argentina needs the fight, and I like the fact they're taking it. I don't know if they'll win it, but you need this fight to work, because if it doesn't work, it only gets worse for you with Lucho struggling back behind this. The camels get melted. A lot of the knights are still remaining for Nikov, but it does feel like there's still just enough for France to hold on. And remember, their ecos are still really good. A bit of a jump here, though. Siscon is losing numbers. Guys, imagine the momentum for Argentina if they win this game. You're going to hear the largest vamos! The whole country of Argentina is going to hear it from their, like, out their windows. Because they should be gone from this series. This should be over. Still seems like a bit of a struggle to just get the snowball rolling here. Castle would be huge. A castle for Siscon just to defend this, maybe even make longbows, would be huge. And yeah, France are holding. Got just enough. Margugu was picking off a couple of Nikov's units as Nikov advanced forward. Now +5 attack for Nikov. Castle for Nikov. And I think a castle for Margugu as well would make a lot of sense so this doesn't get raided too heavily. Because he is getting pushed back. But as he gets pushed back by Nikov, Nikov's no longer pushing Sato. He's no longer pushing Siscon. And I imagine there's going to be help on the way. Siscon has clicked up to the Imperial Age. Crazy, man. And hey, there's Lucho. All right, so Lucho's back in action. Up to 12 crossbows, just now getting ballistics. Obviously, at this point, you can't really be too critical of Lucho because what has happened has happened. You're just 40 vills behind, so you're never going to compete with the numbers. You do need to get back into it, though. By the way, do you notice the way the units are moving? A lot of players are using stand grounds for a lot of units in general right now. But crossbow plays stand grounds. Means those units, they don't regroup as much. And they I don't know, it's a different behavior than attack stance. I actually have a video I'm going to make on that at some point. A couple other things to mention there. Big camel cleanup. This is why you make the camels, guys. The camels have so much bonus attack. Nikov's hoping that because of the extra attack, he could still beat camels. But it just can't happen. He needs the crossbow support. And I don't know if there's enough of it. It's only Kapotch, pretty much. This would be a good fight. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Sato trying to micro his way out. But man, when the Britain player is an imp on like 50 arbs and Kapotch is still 3 minutes away. 11 range arbs. It's going to be too much. I think the only the only thing that could make this interesting is if everybody comes to Margugu right now and just smashes him in the face. Because he is kind of vulnerable. Seems like they're thinking about it. But now Imp is in. They're going to have to face the music over here. Syscon can kind of do it alone against the armies that are out there. Sito clicks up to Imp as well. Oh, man, Argentina. Just crazy army from Nikov and Kapoch. But they're going to be overwhelmed here soon. Is Lucho able to recover in time? He could come back into the game if someone else on France had taken a lot more damage. I think that's why France were also very patient. Because they had moments where they could try and go in for the kill. But they've always fallen back, so they never lose their critical mass. There were some dangerous amount of knights out there. But yeah, to me it feels like I'm going to remove market events because France is just living and breathing in that market right now. There were some moments that have now passed, I think, where Argentina had some opportunities. I think those opportunities came through Kapoch and Nikov on that right-hand side. But it's very difficult when you're going up against the Britons. This is what I mean. Overextension from Margugu. And Margugu will lose all of his crossbows. He just gets completely wiped. And so, again, that's an example of if you just chilled at home. If you just chilled at home, waited for those upgrades, everything's good, everything's great. Now there's some panic. And now Nikov is going to try and dive in here to follow up on this. Lucho suddenly has more crossbowmen than Margugu does. And maybe there's a chance here for Argentina. But still a lot of army from Sito. He's about to be an Imp, which is faster than Nikov. And there's still a massive army on the other side from Syscon. And in the end, even though that was not on the Margugu highlight reel, I would say that's acceptable because of this. Because of this massive push from France. But I mean, the populations are even, guys. They're somehow even. I would expect it to change a little bit with Margugu being an Imp and recovering with numbers, but still. Nikov needs to come over to help Kapoch. Kapoch has had a great game. He's got 60 ARBs. It's against Syscon's 50. But Britain ARBs are insane. Let's not forget, both teams had Britons picked. And Britons are insane in team games. And Argentina used it in the first game. And they lost that game. So to beat the Britons in that game was always going to be great for future games. Obviously, now you see the benefit. And oh man, Margugu actually failing to build this castle now. Margugu making everyone in France so worried right now. It's tough, right? They're Lithuanian knights with +6 attack. It's easy for me to sit here and say you've got to be careful. But it's a different thing when you're in the game. Caught between trying to force the issue when you have a lead or not. He's going to drop a castle here, Margugu. He's still got ARBs. His castle will complete. And Syscon is kind of just snowballing his way through Nikov and through Kapoch at the moment. There's camels around. There's going to be Cavalier. There's going to be Savar. For Sito. Margugu! Margugu! All right, castle's going to go up. Crazy losses for Margugu here. But there's raids from Sito all over Nikov as Nikov's waiting for the Paladin upgrade. Figures that's his best chance. That's why he's not taking as many fights over here. They're just waiting for the Paladin upgrade. But, like, guys, Paladin... How many would you need here? Like 50? Nikov's going to have 20 or so. And Margugu and Sito are just looking for every Cavalier they can and trying to kill it off before Paladin comes in. And, I mean, meanwhile, there's still like 75 Arbalest from Syscon. And all the eco is melting for Nikov. He might actually lose his relics, too. Which is obviously horrible. Savar is in. Lucho's still been in castle. He's done a great job to try and recover from this situation. But he's just completely slaughtered now. And, alright, Nikov's got Paladin. But is Paladin that much better than Savar? I'm not so sure. Certainly with the relics, I think they probably are. Can Paladin change this with 80 Britain ARBs on the field? And camels in front? I don't think so. Margugu is going to be up to 60, 70 yarbs. There's just too much army here for France. And Argentina finally tap out. And France moves on to the final for what I think really is, after watching all these teams, seeing how they played throughout this event with the 8-team main event, I think it's the best final that Age of Empires 2 could have right now. France and China, clear winners in their semifinals, and it will be amazing to see them all playing up against each other in the final. So, Argentina, really promising signs. I really like this team. I said it all before, but they've got a nice mix of players. They have kind of the old guard and the new guard. But they're almost in a position that France was in 2 or 3 years ago when Margugu was coming in, Sizkan was coming in, players that have since improved a lot over the last few years. So I loved Sato's play today. Sizkan's play was insane. Margugu, let's just forget the couple moments right there. Beyond that, was a beast today. And let's not forget Salette and anyone else that needed to step up for France. They were always really performing at a high level. They had the speed, they had the strategy. They have so many things to offer, and I think they're going to give China a really big run for their money. So there's the KD for you. And there's the stats. He had a bigger boom somehow from Sato. I guess it was very slight, actually. Just 400 resources in it. The tale of this game, honestly, kind of came down to the early Castle Age army from Margugu and Sato killing off Lucho. Poor Lucho was lamed at the start. Lucho expected pressure here, and then I just don't think he was expecting there to be the pressure through the opening there, and it was too little too late. So, for those that watch on YouTube, hope you enjoyed the semifinal. We had some really good games. For those that are watching live, the final ends up being tomorrow. So definitely make sure you're there for that. But a great series, man. That was really good.